it was bad from the beginning because every phone call that I made, you know what I'm saying, to get the kegs, everything lined up perfectly. And I was just like, this is
Oh
going
my
off
God.
too. It was going off
Yeah.
too. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
like what turned out to be was just going to be like two, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was just going to be like maybe 10, 15 friends, close personal
Yes.
friends.
That
You know what I
sounds
mean?
about right. 10, 15.
It blew
Yes.
up so hard. It blew up so hard. There were 150 people.
Welcome back to the Swayside Connection podcast. And who do we have on today's episode?
Terran Messer.
For sure. PrepNCrypto where? And on which platforms are you prepping
All of
crypto?
them. X, Instagram, TikTok. I had 60K subs on TikTok, but I got banned at 60K. So I'm trying to build myself back up again.
Oh, snap. Dang. Why did you get banned?
Certain T name with that stands for fear with that ends in ism.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like I like to dabble in conspiracy theories, and whenever I feel like something is true, I'll post it and I won't care. You know what I mean? I don't care about the bans or the
Yeah.
timeouts and stuff like that. Like I feel like people need to know. And yeah, they
For sure.
banned me like right after COVID, and I couldn't get another account back for like almost a year.
No way. You tried different like phone numbers or anything?
Mhm.
Like,
I tried everything to get
wow.
talk, man, but like yeah, for a year they wouldn't let me do anything. And I just got back on this year and I started making crypto content again.
Dope.
But man, like it's a battle. It's a battle making content. Like we were, you know what I'm saying,
It
before pressing
is.
record, like it's a full-time job and people don't understand that. You know what I mean? Like,
It
and
is.
especially like in my realm of content creation, like if you're not first, you're last. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
times like I'm up at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning watching the market, figuring out whatever news is coming forward, and I'm providing that to my followers ASAP. You know what I mean? So like they're the first ones. You know what I mean? And so like Heinz, like it's hard. It's hard to gain traction. It's hard to gain
Super hard.
followers. And then like people don't understand how the algorithm works. So it's not just about liking it. Like they actually have to save it and share it. You know what I mean? To like be able to get the traction and tell the algorithm, you know what I mean, everything that it needs to.
Comment
So
on it. Yep.
and so, like, anybody watching this right now, like, share, and repost. Okay. If you like everybody's stuff, like, that is how you get your people up.
Yeah. Yeah, literally those things. Engage. You need to engage with the thing because it basically shows the platform that you're on that piece of content is relevant to at least one person, you know what I mean? I think so what TikTok did was, and it's kind of cool what TikTok did was kind of like democratize the basically all the platforms now, because before you had to build a following and then you were
Mhm.
able to like create content for your following. Now because of TikTok, it's like it doesn't really matter now. You can have a big following or not, but if you have like a banger post on said platform, then you know, it doesn't matter your followers. The platform will blow your thing up. It'll multiply your,
Oh, yeah.
impressions
Mhm.
and stuff like automatically, like, and it's just kind of interesting.
Sometimes it's the right key phrase, the right hashtag. Like, dude, and it just 100,000 views, 200,000 views, and you don't even know how. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
crazy.
talked about this. You haven't, this episode isn't out, and I talked about it with, one of my previous guests that I was talking about. But there's a tweet on Twitter or X that it goes, oh shit, I don't want to misquote it. Let me see. I think I have it saved. But the tweet basically has 1.2 billion views, and it's just like, damn. And
End
I
of the
thought,
world.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But the basically the tweet is like, it's tell me a lore about yourself, and it's like a stick picture, like drawn. It's not even like that good, and it's so funny that how it's like has 1.2 billion views, and it's just like, dude,
I
that's
like I like
crazy. Well, here it is. Share a piece of lore about yourself.
yeah.
Share a piece of lore about yourself. And then this is the picture.
Yeah, so that picture right there comes from an NFT collection called Motherfuckers.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, those pictures, it's just a bunch of guys sitting at a desk made by a guy who worked at a desk for like 20 years, and it's an NFT
Wow.
of motherfuckers. Yeah, they run it on the Solana blockchain.
See, I'm so glad I showed you that picture and like you recognized it and like it has okay, the stats so that tweet was posted on April 2nd of this
Mhm,
year and it has 1.2 billion views total. Has 206,000 retweets,
mhm,
12,000 comments and 155,000 likes. Oh, and 81,000 bookmarks. Those are just the crazy ass stats from this one tweet. And so
mm,
what that's interesting that it has 206,000 retweets and only
mhm.
155,000 likes, which means more people reshared it than they did
Like it.
actually liking it. Yeah, which is crazy. So, which is that's one of what no, which is kind of crazy. That's one of the reasons. Like, this is still a kind of bigger account. They have 28,000 followers, but I don't think they had 28,000 followers like when they first tweeted it out. So I think they might have had like less than 10,000 followers. And then you have one super banger tweet like that, and then, blows up your account. And so, like you were
Mhm,
saying, sometimes it's just the phrase, but it was the phrase plus that combination of that NFT, like
mhm.
that combined, it just synergized perfectly and then blew up. And now
It's like it's the algorithm's changing. So like on Threads, right? And this is
yeah,
for anybody trying to blow up on Threads. Threads wants you to not only make a post, but like let's say I'm making a post about stocks and crypto, right? They want me to
yeah.
post the stock, say something about it, leave some icons like rocket ships or a moon boy or something like that, and it automatically bumps it up into the algorithm. It wants you to use It wants you to literally load your feed with as much data as possible, basically.
You know what? I think also with Threads is the only one where I had a video of mine hit. This is the most views I ever got on a video. I think it was like 800,000. And it was like
Mm,
just dumb. I just reshared a video of Jameis Winston last year during football
mhm,
season when Cleveland was playing this snow game. And then, like, before the game, he was saying all this kind of like wild stuff. And like, it
mhm,
was just hilarious. All I had was like a 10-second clip, but like,
mhm.
that kept on getting and I forgot my caption. I think I was trying to be funny too. So then I think that helped but that thing blew up. It took like 3 days, but it's so interesting. That's like the most viral like thing I've ever like posted. But I feel like just to kind of piggyback off of Threads, and I think with all of the platforms, including LinkedIn now, but like videos are king now. Like, if you have any sort of video, short or I mean, obviously long isn't going to be the best format for like Threads or Twitter,
Mhm.
although people put them on there. I think YouTube is like king of like long form content when it comes to videos, but
Yeah.
other videos, clips, man, like those, like on any of the platforms, like I said, including LinkedIn, that will also kind of like how your tip with like adding emojis or icons or,
Yeah.
animations, stuff like that. I just feel like stuff that's not just words basically will help, and then not just static images will help the algorithms like those.
If you can
So
kinda see, like, there's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, us older generation, or I hate saying that, but, like, the coolest
but it's,
generation, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Our algorithm has changed on Facebook, and a lot of people hasn't understand that, you know what I mean? So now to see your friends post, you see the friends
yes,
post with the most engagement. And so,
yes,
like, that's like, you know what I'm saying, which is a real shitty thing for Meta to do, you know what
for
I mean?
real.
Really like seeing all my friends post regardless of how many likes, you know what I'm saying, or retweets or shares, you know what I'm saying, or that they get, and I wish they changed that, you know what I mean? Because then they just made Facebook, Instagram, everywhere a popularity contest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Because
mean, it goes back to the TikTokification of everything now because
Yep.
it's like instead of like you don't see your followers stuff per se. You
Mhm.
see whoever posts the coolest thing. So like it has its good and bad things. And the bad thing about that is you don't see stuff from your friends anymore or from
Mhm.
people you know. And so
No,
like,
on Facebook, you can see your analytics versus, you know what I'm saying, people in your friends group. You get what I'm saying? And so,
yeah,
like, you can see, like, how your posts fare to friends or other businesses, you know what I mean? Which with other businesses, I fare kinda in the middle, but
yeah.
with friends, like, I'm in the top, like, 100%. You know what I mean? So like I know my friends are seeing my posts, but I'm not seeing any of my friends' posts. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your posts, everybody who's like literally creating content
Yeah.
that can generate the likes, I see their posts, but I don't. I have to go search for friends to see if they've posted it. You know what I'm saying? Like in the past,
Yeah.
and that's what sucks, man. That's what I hate about that algorithm change.
Because too, the other thing is like people like me, like I ghosted Facebook and Instagram for years on both of those
Yeah,
platforms where I was like, just don't really post anything for a long time. And then like all of a sudden to come back and it's just like, man, everything feels familiar here, but it's not. And so like I basically jumped back into Facebook and it's just like, this is actually cool. Like I like this. I don't know. It's weird. Like I don't like the algorithm, how like you were saying, like you have to search for your friends, but it's just one of those things where it's just like, man, you just forget like how big Facebook still is. Like,
yeah,
people always talked about, especially when like TikTok came and like some of the newer platforms came, it's like, man, Facebook is done. Man, I don't know if that thing will ever be done because
no,
it's so ingrained in so many people's lives. Like I already know just so many people
they're,
because now that I'm back, I do it automatically. Like,
they're gonna monetize Facebook.
what's that?
They're,
I think it already is for certain people. Yeah. Do you have a YouTube? 1,000%. And this goes back. No, I'm being for real because we were talking beforehand. And so this is what's so funny. We haven't even really started the interview. This is all pre-talk too. And I love it because it's like we're kind of talking about this whole space that we're in right now. So but we were talking, me and Terran were talking before the podcast about like just, like starting possible podcasts and how I feel like 40 is a good divider. Like YouTube is made up of people that the people that make the content on YouTube are either 40 years old or younger or 40 years and over. And like 95% of the content that is on YouTube is by people that are 40 years and younger, which
mm-hmm.
means that there is so much I feel like there's a land grab now for creators that are 40 and over to kind of make content and like find your people. Because I feel like as time goes on and as cable companies I feel like as they will start to dwindle away. TV is old. People are not going to watch TV the same way
No,
as our parents did or even as we did, so cable companies are going away, TV channels are going away. I think YouTube is the next media, like the YouTube will be the center of where everybody puts their stuff at. And if it's kind of feeling that already, like almost every
go ahead.
yeah, I just feel like that's kind of the where everybody is going. So like if you're gonna make content, I feel like you would do well on YouTube too. So go ahead. You were saying?
It's like I was gonna say before, like I had a couple friends and a couple buddies that like, hey, you should start a YouTube channel too. You know
thousand
what I
percent.
mean? And like, but that's when I was like, TikTok had 60K subs, you know what I mean? And I was going to, and then like all of a sudden, you know what I mean? So like building that season, like building season again, like, is it tiresome? Yeah. But like people got to understand, you know what I mean? Like all it takes to be a content creator is literally, you know what I'm saying? What you've said it before is just, it's one video. It's one video, it's one, and it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to lie to it. Like it's a cheap hit of dopamine. I'm not going to lie. You know what I
A
mean?
thousand percent. I think,
When you
and
like
I
and you
will.
tons of views, you know what I mean? Like, I remember my first viral video, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It
Yep.
wasn't even me nothing. It was just me going like this in the screen telling people about a bank. Like, that's what literally all
Yeah.
about Wells Fargo closing, like, a bunch of stores, like, leading into this year, and, like,
Yeah.
the video I woke up and the video was viral. You know what I mean? And I was
Yeah.
just,
See, that's
"This is it." And I'd be like, off that one video, I gained almost 10,000 followers. So, like, I'm like, "This is actually really real." You know what I mean? Like, this is, like, that's the one video that draws the people in, but like people who don't know how the algorithm works, once you gain those followers, you gain their net of influence as well. So
for
like your
sure.
videos will show to their followers and them and their followers. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, 1,000%. And I will say because you said, the dopamine hits you get from it.
Yeah.
The dopamine hits you get from YouTube are different.
Dude.
They're different because because you when you're especially if you're starting from zero, which you have to respect every channel regardless if you're Cristiano Ronaldo, Mr. Beast, or myself. Everybody starts at zero, and how
Yep.
they get there, their journey there is all different, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, he just has to start a YouTube, and already he instantly has 100 million like subscribers. But like everybody else pretty much has to start from zero, so it's kind of interesting to start from zero and then like make content, and then like, man, like I don't even have 200 subscribers yet on this channel. Message, but but like, it's dope. I still like the because you're starting from zero, and like you're making content and you're posting videos and stuff, like it's different than like all the other ones, because like
Yeah.
not as many of your friends from the other ones. And I think it would be the same as like having like a big account on like TikTok, right? So I feel like, because
Mhm.
I haven't had any kind of following that's like crazy like that, but it's nice to know that you have a following on any platform where you're in the thousands, because there's just no way you know all those people. You know what I mean? But to have that is like, I think it would be similar to kind of having that. And so, but
And
YouTube is just a different beast when it comes to
it
just
is,
the
man.
social medias.
This
But
is
it's doable.
there's
I
people
think
out
it's,
there, you know what I'm saying, and you can pay for followers, you can pay for likes and all that, you know what I mean? And those things
yeah,
are
they're
like,
not as sticky though.
yeah, it is sticky because, you know what I'm saying, like, you gotta think
Well, I'm
about
saying they're not as sticky. They'll fall off. Like those type of
they'll fall off
followers will
like
fall
that.
off. Yeah,
And a lot of them are bots anyways, you know what I mean? Like, there are
exactly.
a lot of bots. And so, like, growing growing yourself organically, it's so fucking it's
Yeah,
so hard to grow, like, and it sucks. The grind, you know what I'm saying? The fight for yourself and the algorithm is hard. And if you know how to do it, it's easy. But the thing is, though, like, you could put all the right hashtags, you can put what the algorithm wants, you know what I mean? But like, if people aren't engaging in your video for longer than 3 seconds, or at least liking the video, it
yeah.
doesn't mean anything now. You know what I mean? Like, you're wasting your time making content. And so, like, you have to be
Ultimately, yeah, no, ultimately though, the key is you just have to like you have to keep making quality. Cause if it, I think like you can make a bunch of videos, but like if your videos aren't getting better, like if the
yeah,
editing's not better or the sound is getting worse. I think for me, like for any, when it comes to long form videos, like, and I see it all the time, and I see like people that are paid, that have money, that like make weird videos where you can't hear the person because they don't have a proper microphone. And it's just like, dude, that's so weird that you would record this video. You're so far away from the phone or whatever device you're using, and you just don't have like a simple microphone to just
yeah,
record this video. It's crazy. But like, to me, sound is the biggest thing. Like, if I can't hear you properly, then your video, you're gonna have the most amazing video. It's like, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? So like, I just feel like if you have just good quality videos, you will crack the code. Like, because you will have one that will eventually potentially go viral, like the lore one, right?
yeah,
Share a piece of lore of yourself, so, which I'm going to ask you, actually, since we're here,
yeah.
share a piece of lore about yourself, so you've kind of shared some stuff already, and like we haven't even really started with the Spanaway stuff yet, but we'll get there like right after this. I think I like all these interviews are all so different, so I don't want to just kind of like have the same interview with everybody, but like I
Yeah.
love our conversations already, of just because we create content. So like when you create content, it's like, hey, what's up, buddy? Like other person who's also like struggling. Yeah, 1,000. Yeah.
And like, anybody that really knows me from like back in the day, I really don't give a shit about, you know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
no, which is good.
Make
That's a
fool
good thing to
myself, you know.
have.
I'm sure there's stories out there, you know what I'm saying, of like some crazy stories. But like, I remember one for a fact, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell one right here. I think you were at this
Yeah,
party.
let's go.
Uh,
Hey, that's what most people are here for. A lot of people love the stories, including
my parents
myself.
my parents took a like a week vacation in Hawaii, right? So like I'm scrambling. I'm calling everybody I can. I'm like, da, 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 this is gonna be the party. This is gonna be the day. You know what I mean? And
What
like
year was
biggest.
this? Was this your senior year?
This was my senior year. Yeah, my
Yeah.
senior
Oh
year.
man, that's the
Uh,
perfect time to do that too. You're a
yeah,
senior.
my senior
Oh,
year. It was my senior year, and I threw this kegger at my house, man. And I don't know what it was, but like I knew it was bad from the beginning because every phone call that I made, you know what I'm saying, to get the kegs, everything lined up perfectly. And I was just like, this is
oh
going
my
off
god.
too. It was going off
Yeah.
so. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
like what turned out to be was just gonna be like two or you know what I'm saying? I thought it was just gonna be like maybe 10, 15 friends. Close personal
Yes.
friends.
That
You know what I
sounds
mean?
about right. 10, 15.
It blew
Yes.
it up so hard. It blew up so hard. There were 150 people at my freaking party. Like, you
That's
know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't even know half the people there. I knew some OGs from Spanaway, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the
wow.
up.
Yeah.
A couple people came through, you know what I'm saying? A couple pops may have went off, you know what I mean? Like it's Spanaway, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like I disturbed the peace of the people in that mostly suburban neighborhood. And I apologize to this day about that.
No, because you know how exponential that is back then. And like for that to happen before social media, that's amazing. That just
Dude,
shows you how like people
I'm not gonna
communicate
say
back
anything,
then.
but that my house was hot that day. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
so
say
if you
who it
think
was, but
about it, so like okay, senior year, so this would have been 98 or 99, right?
yeah,
And then
it was
like
after
for
graduation.
it was after graduation?
It was right after
Oh
graduation.
yeah. So oh man, so it's like summertime too and it's like
People
there's
going to
so
college.
man, but this is also the thing too. So do you have this group of people that are not 21 yet that are, that are still in the area. So you have this massive amount of people that are like 20, 19, 18, and then like even some high school people that are still like in school. Then to get that information and then like everybody scrambles around and then it's just like it's so funny how now with technology, right, people obviously can post stuff on social media like to get stuff
Yeah,
out like that, but or even but what's crazy is like how not everybody had a cell phone back then either, and then not everybody, so like you had to call people's like house phones potentially, and then you had to coordinate. Like I'm surprised at all the coordination that you did, that like because now you're underage. We don't want to glorify underage drinking on this show,
no,
but there's just being from Spanaway, a lot of it happens sometimes. And
yeah.
so, but for everything to like kind of work out perfectly, I could tell how that thing blew up because it's like
As
we
soon
don't
as
understand exponent.
I made one phone call, I think it was to Jacob or Shay, and I
Oh
literally
yeah,
made one phone call. I said the kegs are here, and that was it, bro. That was it. You know what I
I
mean?
I don't think we understand how the power of how exponential things can get.
Could you imagine if it was? Could you imagine if that was on social media?
Well, yeah, it would have been. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
Um,
like I think. Well, I just feel like. Because did you have a phone your senior year, like a phone or a pager? Yeah, me neither. Like I didn't have a cell phone till 2000, so it wasn't. Yeah, I think it was the year 2000. I was 20. I was 20 years old when I got my first cell phone. So it's like, I think I had a pager maybe, and so that's why it's so funny,
I had
like
a
thinking back.
Motorola two-way for a long time, bro. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
until
two way was during that 2000 to like 2002 area.
and so like for that, I used the two-way the entire time. You know what I mean? And then
Wow.
BlackBerry came out, like
Yep.
BlackBerry was
Yep.
the shit. I really wish they would bring BlackBerry back, but it was yeah, man, it
I
was
think they
strange
are making a
transition.
comeback. I
I
think
think they're trying
BlackBerry
to.
is.
I remember
They're not
hearing
dead.
some.
Well, what's dope that they're not completely dead either. So that I
Yeah,
love because like I think they could have a comeback story too.
yeah.
So
That's my
same. I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. No, that so man, any fallouts from that party, by the way? Because it's like there's been a
man.
couple parties. Like, did you get in trouble at all? Like, neighbors complain, police come,
Came.
police came.
Almost
Damn,
got
that's not
arrested.
good.
I almost got arrested at my house.
Oh, man.
Grace, gracefully, the police officer that showed up, the police officers that showed up actually went to my church, bro.
My
and
goodness,
my dad,
that's
he knows my
hilarious.
dad. He knew my dad because my dad
You were
was like
like,
a and
"This
my
is
like
hey, this is my
well,
dad's
the
house,
deacon
you know."
my dad was like up here in the church, you know what I mean? So like I was like,
Mm,
dad, I was like, this is worse. I was just like, this is worse. I would have wished anybody would have came other than the police officer that you know what I'm saying that went to my church.
yeah.
But he basically said, he said, wrap it up. He said, I'm going to tell your dad. I'm going to tell your dad everything we found, everything that we saw. Just know it's coming. And so I said, all I said was, yes, sir. You know what I mean? And he said, if anybody's in there drunk, make sure they do not leave because I'm going to have a squad car parked out. And he did. He had a squad car parked out there until like maybe 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Like, so when after
Wow.
everybody left, the police still stayed to 5 o'clock in the morning because they were going to take anybody that stepped out of my house as, you know what I'm saying, like public intoxication. They were
But
going to get
that's
them
pretty
on it.
good. He gave you a warning though
I
for
mean,
your
you know,
no, that's pretty dope.
and like there was like fallouts after that. No, not really any fallouts. You know what I mean? It was just
No, that's
like
no that I would basically that I was asking about like, yeah, like that,
I knew it
like
was going to happen. You know, like we tried to put as much of the stuff, like me and my brother, we tried to put much of the stuff that was valuable inside my parents' room because we had that locked up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Got kind of babysitted that, you know what I'm saying, bitch all night long.
I think the number where it gets kind of like you don't have any control is
Yeah.
probably around 30. Like once you
Yeah.
have more than 30 people
Mm-hmm.
like in the spot, then it's like you
Because
don't really have
the
control.
house set up back in the day, right? So
Yeah.
the police showed up. Soon as the police showed up, right? Soon as the lights came, you automatically saw like the back of my house. There's nothing but woods. It goes straight into Fort Worth, like back of the base in Fort Worth. So like, yeah. So they're like basically you jump my fence and then like you run to like a tree line that's about 50 yards away. That's Fort Worth base. You know what I mean? That's like the back part
Yeah.
of the you know what I'm saying base. So like,
Fort Lewis, you mean?
yeah, Fort Lewis, my bad.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Yeah.
No,
So
that's
no, when the
so that's
police
so
showed up,
funny.
they jumped over. You seen a wave of people run into the woods, bro. And then like nobody came back. So like it was just like after the cops showed up, like people started trickling back in. You get what I'm saying? But it
Yeah.
was dark because it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. We didn't have
Yeah.
nobody had cell phones. I believe people probably ran in the woods, got fucked up. You know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
super
For
dead. You know?
sure. For
Like
sure.
it was, you know
People
what I'm saying? It was
falling on the ground, running into trees, branches. Yeah, it could have been bad.
It could
I'm
have been
sure.
bad, thank God. Like I heard, like everybody got home safe. Everybody
Okay,
who went
that's
to
good. Yeah.
so it was like a thing. But yeah, man, like the party happened probably. I was surprised as late as the police got called because the police didn't get called until like maybe like around 1 or 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? And so like my neighbor
Yeah.
very gracious, but our music, dude, it was extremely disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. Music level was
I mean,
disrespectful.
that was like are you talking about the sound level? The levels of how loud it was disrespectful?
Like I had just like for like my room, I'd bought like a home, like entire home, like speaker system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I hooked the speakers up. You know what I mean? Because people wanted music outside and inside. So I had one speaker
Oh
blasting
man,
it.
you had it kind of like professionally
Oh yeah, like
pro-
I laced that
you had a professional
entire party, bro. Like I wanted it to
that's
go
dope.
off without a hitch. I wanted people to have a good time. You know what I mean? Did my house get fucked up? Yeah, it did. You know what I mean? Like I spent probably like, my house got fucked up, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like when my dad came back, like I'm not gonna lie. Like I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I admitted what I did. I took my, you know what I'm saying? Like I took it on the chin and you know,
Yeah.
I had to pay some money back. I had to do some extra work, but at the end of it, you know what I mean? Like you get to be
No.
you get to be a legend for like the summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that was
no, for
it.
sure. You said your brother was there. How many siblings do you have? I guess we can
It's
get
just
it
my brother.
started.
I just got a little brother.
Oh, okay. How old is he? How much younger than is
He
he
was
than you?
one grade lower than me, so he graduated in 2000. He was part of the 2000 class in at
Oh,
Spanaway. Yeah,
that's dope. So then
yeah.
that's crazy. Man, your brother must have had a great time too then
Oh,
during
dude,
that. And like
yeah,
his friends were there,
bro.
right?
I'm not gonna say any rumors about my brother, but you know what I'm saying. Like you know what I'm saying. My brother,
Yeah,
you know what
I'm
I'm saying.
sure.
Yeah,
No, so let's
he had a
so
great
okay,
time
that's
he had a great time at the party. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, yeah. So like, no, that's dope. So like growing up, so yeah, that's tight. So it was you and your brother and your parents. So then like where were you born? Where were you and your brother born? And then when did you guys come to Spanaway?
My dad was in the military. We had traveled around like a lot, but like my grandmother like lived down in Santa Barbara, and like she moved down to like when my dad was in the military, she moved down to San Diego. So
Okay.
we moved from like so I was actually born in Santa Barbara, raised in San Diego till I was like 3 or 4, and
Okay.
then I got stationed in Korea. So then I lived in Korea for like I think until the time I was about 9 years old, which is about third grade in the U.S. And then that's when I came to Spanaway. And when I
Yeah,
first came to
that's when I
Spanaway,
came. I
yeah, and
came
then
in
when I
third
first came to
grade.
Spanaway, yeah, it was third grade. I think it was, I don't know, I forget. That's a long ass time ago. But like,
Yeah.
but when I first came, like I spoke Korean. So like I literally for like almost a month, I didn't even go to regular class. I had to take English classes to be able to go,
Yeah.
stand in regular class at Spanaway Elementary. So like that was the
Wow.
yeah, so, like, that was the hard thing. Now, I can barely speak Korean, and, like, I listen to it, and I can hear it, and I understand what they're saying, but it's hard for me to pronunciate back, and I wish I would've kept practicing it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
But, like,
I think it just takes practice again.
it
And like
does, you
you
know what I
have
mean?
to you have to like
You do
want
have
to
the
do it.
desire to, like, want to learn
Yes.
the language again.
'Cause, like, I've been here in Samoa for almost 2 years, and, like, people are like, "Oh,
Mm,
your Samoan must be great," and I'm like, "Not really, because
yeah,
I'm not, like, trying to learn it actively like that," which, I should, but it's like, I'm still trying to perfect my English, which is, like, the first language I learned, so I'm like, I'm still trying to get better at English, let alone I don't really have time for other
I think
languages right now.
everybody's
I'm
trying to get better at English.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a better communicator in English, legit. That's
Yeah.
partly why I have a podcast and why I try to do these interviews and try to show people like, "Hey, your boy can communicate out here."
Yeah,
And
most definitely.
no, so that's exactly why it's dope like that. So then are you Korean at all?
Yeah, man, I'm half Korean.
Okay, yeah. Dope.
Yeah,
I
half
mean,
Korean,
some people
German.
might not know that. So that's why it's like,
German. At that time, probably like the tallest Korean. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my thing. Like that's what everybody was like. No, so that was the biggest Korean. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
and that was like the what I'm saying thing. Like all throughout, I guess what I'm saying, my elementary, junior high, and high school.
And you said Spanaway Elementary. You went to Spanaway Elementary?
Hmm.
Okay, dope.
Span away to
Spanaway
Span
Ele
junior high. Got expelled from there, and then went to Cedar Crest. And that's when I met y'all. Was when I went to Cedar Crest. That's when I made my debut.
Oh, dang, okay. So wait, real quick, so, like, we'll briefly touch on any memories from Spanaway Elementary that you remember
Yeah,
from
like
back in the day? Favorite teachers, favorite classes?
Harvey. Miss Harvey was my favorite teacher, man. When I tell
Okay,
you,
why was that?
she I just felt like she was the one that cared. Like she knew like I didn't get school, bro. And I'll confess that
Yeah.
to today. Like I barely
Yeah, yeah.
graduated high school. You know what I mean? Like and I don't I'm it doesn't shame me to
The
confess that.
way no, 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 I don't think you should be. The way school is designed, like, the more I just kind of
Yeah.
understand, like, just the schooling system, the way it's designed isn't set up for everybody to succeed,
Mm.
which is kinda messed up, and so it's
And
like,
like
for some of
I
people
didn't know yeah, I didn't know that I was like mildly autistic until I got into my 30s. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
like just the
Yep,
way my brain operates.
yep,
And the doctor told me is like you wouldn't have survived in school. You know what I mean? Like
yep,
it's not that my attention or I have attention deficit disorder or I have hyper attention deficit disorder. It's literally like I have a bunch of ideas that come in at one time or problems.
yeah,
And sometimes I have to slow myself down to fully think through each one. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And sometimes it's really hard. You know what I mean? I
for
do
sure.
medicate myself, not like with any state pharmaceuticals, but I do medicate
Yeah,
myself because what it does is it slows me down to have one actual thought to where I
good.
can produce what I need to produce. Because even as a content creator, you know this, like the ideas sometimes they just come. You know what I mean? And like
Yes,
to be able to process it and to be able to like give life to it. If you could like imagine if you will, and I'm not gonna say like, you know what I'm saying, like there's anything special about me. Like I didn't like I said, I didn't find like that I was mildly autistic until like my 30s. But how my brain operated in school was You know what I mean? Like I loved art. Like I love to draw like all the time. Like something because to me that was like I was even chasing dopamine when I was a
Yep.
kid. You get what I'm saying? Because like
I
I would mold the clay or I would like, you know what I'm saying, color, like, and I would try to do it in between the lines beautifully. I was like trying, it was instant, like, it was like an instant, like, oh, I created this. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or
yeah.
even like in
That's a
school.
different kind of dopamine. I feel like just naturally in society with candy. Like candy is like also one of the early times like when every kid gets that first hit of whatever candy that they like, boom, instant dopamine. So like that's I mean, it happens. So like to find something that young, finding dopamine doing something creative versus because there's dopamine that I feel like the bad dopamine is just like consuming stuff like food, candy, social media, continuous scrolling. I think it's bad if you're like, on it like forever or, you let it overconsume. But then there's the dopamine that you can get from creating. And that's why I feel like everybody, even our age, should start. It's another way, like if you start a YouTube channel, creative abilities that you have. And like you don't, and like the designing your own YouTube channel is all up to you because you don't even
Yeah.
have to be on camera. You don't even have to use your voice. You can just make documentaries
Hmm.
about golf or about Smurfs or about, you know, Korean barbecue. You know what I mean? Like literally what the
Yeah. No,
thing that, that's what I
it,
mean. So
it's
I'm
literally,
right with you.
you can do anything. You know what I mean? And so sitting in
You could
class
do
back in the day,
anything.
like, dude, like, I don't know if like this was you or not, but like, I never, unless it was like, I loved history.
Yeah.
I forget our history teacher's name in Spanaway Lake, old bald white guy. What was his name, bro? Almost everybody
Uh,
had him. He had glasses.
Taylor?
I think it was Mr. Taylor. Um,
Yeah.
he,
He taught. Yeah.
dude,
Mr. Taylor.
yeah,
Yeah, he was
Mr.
kind of a hard ass, but
Yeah,
he was like,
he was an asshole, but like he was cool, bro. He was cool.
okay, that explains him perfectly. Because
Yeah,
no, yeah, I brought him up before. Yeah,
yeah, he was an
yeah, he's
asshole.
dope.
But he was cool, but he wanted you to get it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
and that was like another thing.
he was real, which is kind of what made him an asshole. He wasn't like gonna cupcake to you or nothing. He was just real, but like, yeah, no, his class was, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then
he was
Mr.
memorable.
Bradley too. Yeah.
Who
I
else?
mean, you ever have Mr. Bradley at Spanaway Lake for history?
No, no,
He was a yeah, he was a hard
I
ass
had
too.
Miss,
He would clown you
I
in
had
class.
Mr.
Like,
Right,
ever
I had
said
Mr.
clown you.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Wright was cool too, man. I never got the. I wanted his
I
class.
had him for history. I had him for history. So like I have some memories from his class was just like it's like watching, like all the ESPN and Fox sports shows. Like it was like constant debating about short sports in his class from, if most people that took it that
I heard that. I was just like, bro, all we talk about is sports. That's all we talk about.
well, because like during that time too, like when I took it, I took like U.S. history as a junior, and I think they were trying to phase U.S. history to be a sophomore class,
Yeah.
but like, but I hadn't taken it as a sophomore, so like we had a combination of like people in your grade and my grade. So there was people
Mhm.
what so like my junior year there were sophomores in my class too. And then because of that I still remember like we would have like some like random crazy debates cuz like I remember like Josh O'Brien being in my class and like that's
Yeah.
literally all we're doing is just talking smack literally the like half the class. So it's just kind of like going back and forth and then, so but
Yeah.
no man, it was yeah, no, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
like so like sitting in class for me back in the day was like it was ideas. You know what I mean? Like class was boring. Like so my brain, I literally write down ideas, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and I was like I look back at it now and like I think if I could have controlled the way that I thought, you know what I mean, a little
Yeah.
better, maybe I could apply myself a little bit more in school. But I some parts of me still believe, you know what I'm saying? No, because I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have assessed. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have
Mm,
done I became a chef because somebody told me I couldn't do it.
that's crazy.
Um
That's
I had
crazy.
I had my dad, um I was like, because I was a pretty good cook. I grew up in the kitchen with my grandma. I love my grandma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she taught me everything about cooking. And so, like, when I looked, you know what I'm saying, at like some of these, I remember back in
This is
2000,
your white grandma now, right?
yeah, my white
Yeah,
grandma.
okay.
And my
Yeah.
Korean grandma, she died when I was in sixth grade, and that's when I was in Miss Harvey's class. And that was one of the
Oh,
reasons why I loved her so much, is because she had to deliver that news to me that my grandma died. And like, I remember in class, I just crumbled in her arms, bro. Like,
wow.
and I still remember it to this day. Like,
Yeah.
she just held me, and it was
Dang.
no teacher had done that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man.
it was very
Shout out to Miss
impactful
Harvey.
time in my
No, man,
life.
that's
You know
dope.
what I mean? Like, it was yeah. Like, I will still remember that act of kindness to this day.
Yeah.
It was it was special.
You were talking about cooking now, like,
Yeah.
like why you became a chef because
On
you were
yeah.
saying because of your grandma on your
Yeah, I did it for my grandma to kinda honor her, you know what I mean? Because it was like, my mom wasn't really teaching me how to cook because she was working
okay.
and busy, and my dad wasn't, you know what I mean? And, like, I was bored, so my grandma was stayed and watched us most of the time, you know what I mean? And so, like,
Nice.
whenever she'd be in there cooking, and I would ask her, "Can I help? Can I help?" You know what I mean? So finally, like, I started cooking, and then I remember I was about 12. Like, I think I had just graduated. We're about to go into seventh grade. No, I was already in seventh grade. And that Thanksgiving, like as a 12-year-old, I cooked the entire Thanksgiving myself
Oh,
from any
snap.
help from anybody. And then like that's why, and my grandma was just like, it's gonna be him when I'm gone.
He's
So
ready.
and that was the thing, you know what I mean? Like, and I remember like I'd gotten saved and I went to Bible college back in like 2003. And
Okay.
for 4 years, like I pursued ministry, specific
Nice.
youth ministry. Some things went down to where a girl on campus had been assaulted, and I had raised suspicions about certain individuals. And without skipping a beat, the school asked me politely to leave.
Whoa.
I made it about it, bro. And this is before,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is when Facebook and everything
Yeah.
first came out, like started taking off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I started posting it on Facebook. I started posting it on MySpace. You know what I mean? I was tagging the
Yeah.
school, like I was doing everything that I needed to. Like, and I didn't know, but back then it worked up on the state. The algorithm did. So like
Yeah.
whatever was popular, if you got likes or if anybody liked anything, it showed the entire state your post of whatever state you're
Yeah.
in. And if people from just random people, either from Facebook or MySpace, would see that post. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's how that algorithm worked. And so, like, before I knew it, my MySpace post had over 20,000 views. You know what I mean? That was
Wow.
literally the time I went viral was on MySpace. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
posting about what college was doing because nothing was being done about these individuals and this assault on this woman. You get what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah.
like, instead of doing the right thing, this Christian university kicked me out. And so, like, it was, to me, it was devastating because I was just like, did I do
Yeah.
something wrong? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like, that's kind of like my whole lead way into like, okay, God,
What do you want
for
me to
4
do?
years there, like I cooked on campus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, every year, you know what I mean? Like, we'd have like this special banquet and they'd ask me to cook and I'd cook everything top to bottom, like top notch. You know what I mean? Like,
Dope.
and my parents didn't know this. You know what I mean? Like they didn't know I was like, dude, they had no idea like this part of me existed. Like it was like, and I became like in Northwest Arkansas, like I became a part of a group called Rogue Chefs, and I wasn't even a chef yet. But in this small, tight grip community in Northwest Arkansas, they viewed me as that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Because like because you could take food and make it art, and that was like that was the thing
Amen.
with me was like I didn't know it was art. I didn't know anything about culinary. I just knew I loved to cook food, good food. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so when college kicked me out, my dad was like, "Well, what are you gonna do now?" I said, "I don't know. I'll probably just cook or be a chef or something." And he started laughing on the phone. Bro. He laughed
Oh,
on the
snap.
phone, and he's just like, "Son, you think you're gonna go waste another 4 years trying to be a chef?" And I was like, I said, I can be a
Bet.
chef. I said, bet. I said, watch this. And it took me that, I remember in 2004, it took me from 2004 to 2010. It took me about 6 years. But I grind under this chef named Fred Mildner. He's a
Dope.
piece of shit. I mean, like when
Oh,
like you
wow.
get one thing wrong, like his lips are on the side of your face grazing you, telling you you're a piece of shit. You're not gonna be a good chef. You're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? You will be fuck
Yeah. Yeah.
and like people can't like listen. people say they want to be cooks and be a chef until you go to a professional kitchen and you witness the most atrocious abuses in the world. Like,
Yeah.
chef is literally cussing you the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, literally. And you
Yeah.
say anything, or else you will lose your job. You'll lose credibility. You can't go to another restaurant and cook. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, people don't understand these things. Like, chefs run
Yes.
their kitchens and their reputations like the goddamn mafia. You get what I'm saying? And so, like, to operate at
Yeah,
that
no,
high
absolutely.
yeah, to operate at that high level, you have to have a certain demeanor, and it comes with breaking and pruning. It really does. Like, he
Yeah.
probably took my skill set, which everybody around me in my friend group thought I was pretty good at cooking. You know what I mean? And I thought I was pretty good
Yeah.
at cooking. But under my first year with Fred, I believed that I didn't know anything about cooking. And like that's when like later when I got done with my pride and everything like that, like totally elapsed and just fell apart. You know what I mean? There's a time when every man, you know, that's a whole nother podcast, but there's a time when a man will absolutely fall apart. You know what I mean? A canon event will happen in their life
Yeah.
and automatically. And sometimes you're lucky enough, you'll experience a few of these canon events in your life. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
the beautiful thing is that man, like I mustered and I worked under him for 5 years. Left. I told him fuck you in your face. You know what I mean? Like it was a bad falling out. You know what I mean? Like cause I felt like I had the skills after 5 years. I was operating everything.
That's a
I was
long
running
time.
Expo. Yeah, I was running Expo. He didn't have to do shit. He sat on his ass. You know what I mean? I ran the entire show for 2.5 years, you know, and so I was starting to get looked at by some other places. You know what I mean? But there was one chef in particular I wanted to work for. His name was Lipton Hopkins in Atlanta, Georgia, and he ran Restaurant Eugene. The Restaurant Eugene was chasing stars, and it was my first experience working in a restaurant that was chasing Michelin stars. And I
Mm.
thought I knew how to cook, bro. Like I worked 5 years under the CIA chef. Like he taught me anything. He brought me through the fucking ringer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I thought I knew how to cook. And when I got in there, like the entire place was filled with executive chefs. And there was only one
Wow.
executive chef. You get what I'm saying? And so everyone
Wow.
was cooking at that level, bro. Everybody. And
Yeah.
so like that place just elevated my game to a whole nother level. You get what I'm saying? Like
Wow. Yeah, 1,000%.
it took my skills and technique and it gave me soft skills that I could elevate. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
like, can I cook high level? Yeah, I can. Do I like to? No, because it makes me turn into somebody I really don't like. And that just it turns me into an angrier person because I feel like when you go into the realm of being a chef and perfectionism, it's abusive. It was abusive on my relationship with my first wife. And I'll just be completely candid. You know what I mean? Like I could have probably done better, but I was chasing a dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so during that time, like I had my eldest daughter, Gracie. I was there for her birth with my middle daughter, Hope. When she was born, the chef gave me 18 hours, bro. 18 hours to go see my daughter being born, hold her, change a diaper, take a nap for 6 hours with her, holding her, hand her back to my wife, and I had to be back on the line.
Damn.
And that, yeah. And that kind of, you know what I mean? Like, and with being a chef, you know what I mean? Divorce is like the next thing. That's what they always say. You want to be great, you're going to be divorced. And that was true. It was true. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get what I wanted in culinary until I did get divorced. You know what I mean? And like,
Wow.
even that divorce, it drew me to like, I just drowned in myself in work. You know what I mean? Like, and at that point, like you've seen, like some of my pictures started to get a little bit more intricate. You started to see a little bit more detail. You can see the timeline. You know what I mean? After my divorce, before my divorce, my food was very welcoming and you know what I'm saying, comforting. You know what I mean? Like after the divorce, it started getting very perfected, very precise, very, you know what I mean? Like I crafted my art after that. I want to say like made me realize where I failed. You know what I mean? That maybe you know chasing dreams in a healthy way. You know what I mean? Was probably what I needed to do, but I didn't know how to do it because I didn't know how my mind worked at that time. Does that make
For
any
sure.
sense?
For
And so
sure.
like I do like in that I do have a lot of regrets. We fell out. You know what I mean? I hope she's doing great.
I think
But
ultimately, a lot of us, we don't know what we're doing, when we're going through life, you know what I mean? So,
and like
but I
it's
also feel like, man, it's okay to make mistakes. And man, everybody, if you're still alive at our age, everybody knows we've all made a ton of mistakes,
many.
so it's, and I try to remind people like to not beat yourself up over it, and also to not, because like I'm in a couple text chains where or just texting with friends that we went to Spanaway with, and then it's like, just recently somebody was just like, I showed them something from like 20 years ago, and then they were like, damn, I wish it was back then. And then it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, it would be nice for our bodies and stuff to be younger again, like how it was 20 years ago. But I also feel like you got to remember, like, there's also like amazing days ahead of us too. You know what I mean? And so,
That's
um,
the thing.
and so
Like
that's,
people got, yeah, you know,
yes,
and that's the thing. Like, what I'm saying, that's, enough for the doom and gloom. You know what I mean? Of that, but like,
yes,
working in my progression, like I came to the height of like being a chef, and like at the end of it, like I've always been the person to press the envelope. You know what I mean? And that's a good and bad thing, and I'll be the first to admit that. But pressing the envelope, I was like, what can I do now? You know what I mean? Like I'm at the top of my game. I can pretty much go work anywhere I want to. So what do I do? And that career change came for me when a general manager came up to me and he was just like, hey, like you're very talented in the kitchen. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, do you want to know how the money works? I said, yeah, hell yeah. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so he started teaching me front of the house. And so
nice,
by that time, like, and this is all, what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. My life is crazy, man. Like, and I know I'm not being very descriptive, but like, you can imagine like this. Like, I'm going from like on a bed, what I'm saying? That told me I couldn't be a chef. I'm at the
yeah,
top of the game being a chef, and I didn't go, what I'm saying, to culinary school. I got hard knocks education. Getting cursed at in a kitchen is hard knocks education. A lot of the
yeah.
guys that have been through culinary school, they still get cussed at, but their knife skills, all their skills are where they need to be. Mine were not. You get what I'm
It
saying? Like,
reminds me of like how accurate is like Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen, right? He
it's
kind of
pretty
like where he's,
like I'm like it's some of it's acting because
yeah,
they're still characters, but a lot of those guys they work in Gordon Ramsay's kitchens as sous chefs. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they can take like there's only a couple contestants on that show that are really actually contestants, and they are the ones that win. You get what I'm saying? But like everybody
yeah,
else, they're just method actors. They're just method acting chefs. That's all they do. Like they run that line all the time. They do the same thing every day, all the time. Like that's what people don't understand about Hollywood. In Atlanta, Georgia, I had a chance to work under Alton Brown on the Food Network
oh yeah,
as
yeah.
sous
Yeah,
chefs.
I love Alton Brown. I love
Yeah,
his
and
shows. Like
like none of those
I
guys can.
love his old school shows. Like he
I'm,
has like
I'm
old school
just
shows where he'll just take a simple dish and just show you how to make it. Like
Mhm.
it could be something simple, tuna fish sandwich,
Oh,
and it's
dude,
just like, yeah, Alton Brown is OG. He's
he,
literally probably one of my favorite people
I'm gonna tell you this right
to
now.
like watch.
Bobby Flay, fucking cook, bro. I'm talking about like high level fucking cook.
That's
Okay,
so dope.
cook. All right, I'm talking about
That's
chef,
so dope.
chef, cook.
Yeah. No, that's so dope.
And that's like when they made like I remember when Iron Chef first came out and he was hosting it and he was doing
Yeah.
his show at the same time, like what I'm saying? Like and all I was doing, bro, like I was sitting there for like 4 hours, get paid like $100 an hour, and all I was doing was just cutting his shit for his show. That's all I was doing.
Oh,
Shit, like there was a couple of us, you know what I mean? And like
that's tight.
we prep for shows. And like that's why I say like my life is a movie. Like everybody's life is a movie. If
Yeah.
you look back at it now, like dude, your life is
A
literally a
thousand
movie to the
percent.
point where
A
you are
thousand
right
percent.
now. You get what I'm saying? And so like
1,000.
now I'm in this mode of like I had another person tell me, my last boss, because I worked at the DFW airport for about 7 years under a company over there. And I kept on getting passed up, kept on getting passed up, catch you up to speed. Like I literally, and I don't know if you feel this about yourself, but sometimes like you feel like you're blessed by God, right? Like I
A
can't,
thousand
like,
percent.
you know what I mean? Like I can't fail.
Ask people this all the time, like, or just like, just from in the past year, I'm like, I'll ask people, like, do you feel like you're lucky? Right. And then, like,
I feel
if
blessed.
people say yes, if people say no, I kind of point out all the reasons why they're probably wrong. Cause you really are
Yeah.
like,
Like
you
you
got to
said,
understand.
made it to 45 in your 40s right now, dude, you're
Perfect
blessed.
example.
Dude,
Perfect example.
blessed. And like that's the thing people are like I've never been the type of individual to like sit there and discuss like my lowliness and just stay there. I've always been
Yes.
a person like, yes, you have time to be depressed, but you cannot stay there. You have to keep pressing forward. And like And
Damn,
my
I feel you. That I think you hit the nail on the head. Like a lot of people are wonder, like, hey, I have dealt with depression. Like
mhm,
depression has found me, and I have dwelled in it, like just sat in it. But you're right, like, man, you
mhm,
can't just stay there. And like there's times where I have tried to just stay there. But
Hines, I
like, man,
can't. Like, that's the thing, like, I cannot, man. I'm raising 3 girls on my own. Like, I
amen,
have full
brother.
custody of my
Amen.
daughters, you know what I mean? So, like, what kind of representation of a man that I am if I stay in that
Amen.
mode of depression? You get what
Exactly.
I'm saying? And so, like,
See,
that's my whole
for me,
thing.
I don't have any kids right now, so I could kind of just self-indulge in my own like, but then
Mhm.
like, I still there has to be a point like, and like this is different for everybody, but you said it. You hit the nail on the head. You can't stay there. You can't stay in your depression. It's just not good. Like, you know
No.
what I mean? And
And
so like,
like
y-
and this is one thing I agree with Andrew Tate on, you know what I mean? And then this I'll say this, the only thing I agree with him on.
yeah.
Depression is a choice. It becomes a choice at a certain point. You can either choose to
Yeah.
stay there or you can elevate and try to work yourself up out of it. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
it's you know why? It's because depression is comforting.
Yeah.
People want depression
For
because it's
sure.
comforting. This feeling of depression is comforting. This feeling of, you
That's
know what
so
I mean?
deep.
Like it is,
Depression is
you
comfort.
know what I'm saying? Like, and they just stay pressed there. You know what I mean? And
You
like,
know who has another? You know who has another great quote about depression? 50 Cent. And like it's kind of falls on your like kind of like how you were talking about, with your kids. He was like, "Oh, depression is a privilege." He's like, "Man, for most people, they don't have the time to be depressed." And I was just like, "Damn." And then
it,
that kind of like basically hits you like
it
basically
does,
exactly what you were just saying about your kids. Like, dude, you have no time to be depressed when you have kids
no.
that are relying on you. And so like, but
Mm-mm.
then that's also another thing too. Like, man, I shout out to all the parents out there, and
Yep.
hopefully one day I am blessed enough to be a parent. But it's crazy, like that
It's gonna
pressure
happen.
of being a parent, though, that creates another type of force of energy inside you to do
It
like
does.
amazing things. It'll get you like to do amazing things. So that's why it's like, so sometimes like I feel like, man, like people that are single should really be more successful because they have more time and focus. I don't think that's the case anymore. I feel like, man, the pressure of having to provide and be, a father or a mother to, these kids that are in front of you, like that gives a different type of drive, like I've also saw this other quote where it talks about like people that are backed up against the wall. So like for example, like if you're in a war and like you're backed up against the wall, like if you don't fight hard, you're gonna die. You're
You know what
like
I found out?
you're 3 times more likely to I don't yeah, we'll say that again. What were you gonna say?
I said
On top
that's my favorite spot. I figured out as a 40-year-old man, I love my back against the wall. I love being pushed into
yes.
a corner. You know what I mean? Because I know how to fight there. I know how to fight there.
Yeah.
It's very comforting to me to have my back up against the wall. I love that feeling of fighting. Like I really do, man. Like and it's like and when you are like when you know it's all you, the
Yeah.
it hits different, bro.
It
You
hits
hit different.
different.
You know what I mean? You hit
Yes.
different. And so like
That's why
on the
sometimes having a safety net is that's why sometimes having a safety net is dangerous.
Mhm.
So that's why it's like when you have a safety net, you don't have to hit as strong. You don't have to be on point. You can mess up and still be okay or be safe.
Mhm.
But like, just I love this point right here. It's just like, man, when your back is against the wall, like, man, it's crazy. It's amazing the types of things that can happen when you put yourself in that situation. And then
Hey,
like for you are comfortable staying there. I am not comfortable there, but like, I'm trying to, it's funny
hey.
because I'm trying to make myself up to that level where I am comfortable being there.
Mhm.
And sometimes it happens with practice. For example, starting this podcast, I've done 30 something of these Swayside Connection podcast. I could do them now hella easy. In the very beginning though, it was scary. Like the very first one I did with James, I was like, I had all these butterflies. And so I get it. So when people are scared to come on, I don't try to make fun of them. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I've done so many of these. It's natural to me. And so,
Yeah, I love
because I've
doing
had,
because it's just
yeah,
the easiest thing is just talk. You know what I mean? And like
To
here,
me, it is.
like
Yes.
listening to this or they're going to watch this later and they may not remember me or anything like that. Like I'm not important. I'm not. I'm just somebody that like I know like in Spanaway Lake, I wasn't a main character. I was a tall guy. Some people thought of me as an asshole. If you did, I'm sorry. I apologize. You know what I mean? Everybody got a different version of me, but the number one thing you can carry is that that version of me is no longer alive. I'm a totally that person back
Yeah.
then didn't even exist today. You know what I mean? And like, and that was the other thing I was getting. Like, I thought I was like this little thug gangster in high school, bro. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Like,
well, hey, actually, let's go back to junior high because you still we didn't even get to junior high yet because I didn't realize you went to Spanaway Junior High.
yeah,
I do kind of remember you at Cedar Crest, but I didn't realize you had come from Spanaway Junior. Can
yeah.
you
So like,
can
Spanaway
you
Junior High, like, it's like I went to, you know what I'm saying, school. Like, you know what I'm saying, played sports. Like, I went to Spanaway Junior High. It's just like I don't know what it was, man. But like, for some reason, everybody wanted to fight me. And I didn't. I don't understand it. Like, everybody wanted a piece. You know what I mean? And like, that's the thing. Like, anybody that really knows me, like, I don't like to fight. I really don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. But like, I
I've
wouldn't say
had some people come on this I've had some people come on this podcast and say Spanaway Junior High was the scariest school they'd ever been to their entire life,
like
including Spanaway
every
Lake.
day. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I was expelled from Spanaway Junior High. I got in 72 fights. My
No
seventh.
way.
I'm not lying to you, bro. I'm not lying
Da-
to you. Ask Warren Stewart. I was one of the people that he fought in seventh grade
Oh, damn. That's crazy.
over a girl, Annie Reyes, that didn't even like choose any of us. Like she chose Burt Reyes.
Yeah.
Shout out Burt Reyes. You know what I mean? I still love both of them to this day. You know what I mean? Like, but it was over something stupid. Bro. It was like so stupid. You know what I mean? But like, shout out Warren too.
Yeah.
Because we're still friends on Facebook and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
like
so, yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
fought all my friends, bro. I'm like, that was the thing. Like, and it was always over some dumb stuff. Like, I fought Demente Robinson, BJ at the time. Like, he went by BJ. I fought Jamie Ramsey. You know what I mean? Like, all my homies, like, we all just fought, bro. Like, I don't know what it was about Spanaway Junior High. I really don't, man. But like, we'd
Yeah.
fight, stay, we'd be friends. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
we fight again. The next day, we're like not friends. You know what I mean? And then we're friends
Yeah.
because somebody else was getting in a fight, so we had to be friends again. Like, it was crazy. It was, bro. And then finally, you know what I mean? At the end of it, you know what I'm saying? Spano Junior High, the vice principal, I forget her name. She looked like a dude. I remember that. Like she was just a short, pudgy dude. She was just a short, pudgy girl that looked like a dude. I'm not gonna lie, she had a bowl cut. She looked like a dude, bro. Like,
Yeah.
and I forget her name. Like other people who went to Spano Junior High may remember what her name was, but like that's how I remember her. And she said, "You can go to any school in our district, but you can't come here next year."
Oh, wow. So she
Yeah.
let you complete the year and then you came to then you came to Cedar Crest your 8th grade year. Okay. Interesting.
And they have it on in like in Hispanoway Junior High, they kept everything on record. Um, so yeah, if you did go to Hispanoway Junior High and you looked up my old records, yeah, I would say about 72 fights. That was what my dad said. He got almost 70 phone calls of me
It's
being
so
in all
funny because
at school. But the thing
I
is though,
think
at
that
that time, the security guard was cruel at there, and it wasn't Mr. Wright, it was somebody else. I forget his name, but he would let us fight, bro.
oh, at Spanaway Junior.
He would let us fight, and
Yeah.
the loser got in trouble.
I think I think it would have been interesting because like looking back, I think it would have been really interesting to like to see what it was like to go to Spanaway, like
It
Spanaway
was hard.
Junior for 1 year.
Like it was, you know what I mean? Like you think about it like this, like nobody ever teaches us how to act when we're in school. They just tell us how we need to be. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And like,
yeah,
so I think at that time, you know what I mean? Like I was what seventh, like to almost 12th grade. Like most men, you know, young boys, they're in their proving grounds. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
a
And that's
thousand
another
percent.
thing I want to talk a podcast is that there's no proving grounds for men or young boys these days, but sports.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, if you read, you know what I'm saying, in history, that's one of the things I fell in love with after high school. If you read the genesis of man, you know what I mean? Back in the day, even in
Yeah,
tribes. And this method is going for all tribes. As far as I've read it in history, every tribe has had a rite of passage for young boys and men for them to
for
be able to
sure.
be considered. You know what I mean? That is not evident today. It's
Yeah,
not evident today at all. The only time most men get that schooling and that learning is in football or through some sport, through a coach, you know what I mean, through a mentor, through some kind of transition. But there isn't really anything out there still to this day guiding young men in the area. Like that's why the thing is like
Military might be a good one, you know?
military,
But,
you
like,
know,
sports,
dude,
you said, is a
but
probably a good one. Military might be another good one, you know, if you r get out of high school and join, I think that's, like, a perfect like, looking
it,
back, I kinda wish I did that. Like, I wish I joined the military. I think it would have helped
I really
with
wish I
that.
could. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
The discipline aspect of it.
All of that.
Yeah, but I also believe, you know what I'm saying, like, there should be, like, a small village of men. I'm not gonna say, like but, like, sometimes it takes a village, and, like, that's why, like, you know, like, with Darius and Latron and his whole family, you know what I'm saying, and Alexander's, dude, bless them. You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
one like, their entire family, man, speaks into kids, bro. Their entire
Yeah.
family, like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, like, dude, and that is, like to me, working as a man, teaching young men how to be men, that's the essence of everything that I feel called to now. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like that is
You feel like
the
you have a purpose there?
yeah, I feel like I have a purpose in like guiding, like, hey, steer because like you know what I'm saying? Like as a man, like coming to this point and like some people out there may view me as successful. I'm not I don't think I'm successful. I'm comfortable, but I'm not successful. Like to me, I don't know what the definition of success is. To me, like I've just quit trying to be something I wasn't. Do you get what
Yeah,
I'm
quit
saying? And
lying
I
to
think it
yourself
comes through the
1,000%.
yeah, like you like I lived under this like mask of, you know what I mean? Like I view myself as this way, but kind of like ego death. You know what I mean? Like extreme ego death.
Yeah.
Like I came to the realization one day, like it literally fell off of me. It's like literally like you know the Bible says like the scales will drop from your eyes and then they will
Yes.
see. Like I literally
Yes.
like, it's just night and day. Like, literally night and day, like, it just came over and it's like, "You're not this person, man. You are not this person, you will never be this person." You know what I mean? And so, like, to me, success is, like, what legacy do I leave? You know what I mean? What can I instill inside of the next generation of leaders, men, women? You know what I mean? Like, what from my life experience can I share with people to make them start, not quit? And the only reason why I'm here where I am today it's because I just didn't quit, man. Like, I kept going, you know what I mean? Like, I just
Yeah.
kept going and kept going, and that was, like, the hardest thing. The hardest thing was, like, to keep going, and you are not on right now, so I'm just gonna sit here and look as handsome as possible inside this camera until I see your beautiful face again, Heinz. It's getting dark. Let me change. He's logging me what up? Welcome back
What
to the show.
exactly. Hey, like I said, in me and Ryan's episode, I'm gonna post it later tonight, but in me and Ryan's episode, man, I disconnected from 10 times. And so I'm glad it, though so far we've been pretty good. Like we're an hour in and like yeah, so we've only this that was my first disconnection. So hopefully I think we might be good for the rest of the time. But yeah, man, you were saying
No,
like
you should be.
what's that? Okay.
No, I said you should be. You should be good now. You know what I
Okay, good, good, good.
mean?
So yeah, man, you were talking about just not giving up, man. That's I feel like, man, I'm right. I'm on.
Yeah, just like,
Yeah, I'm on the
one
same
thing, like,
wavelength.
Stan I understand, I understand, like, life gets hard, things get hard, circumstances get hard, excuse me. Uh, but I always said this one thing to, you know what I'm saying, my ex, "What if? What if it works out?" People always wanna go to the doom and gloom first, but I've
Yes,
always been the type of person, I've always been optimistic. I was like, "What if it works out? What if you do win?"
I've
You know what I mean? What if
one to say a lot of optimistic things, and then in my actions, not do that those things. Right. So it's like kind of like lying
Mhm,
to myself, kind of like how you're saying. And so I feel like I've lied to myself throughout the years. One of the easiest lies that you can say to yourself is one day, tomorrow, those two things like, hey, yeah, one day I will go after my dreams,
mhm,
start that thing, you know, do that. Or even worse, you'll just say, okay, tomorrow I will start the diet. I will quit the bad habit that I'm doing. I will, you know, tomorrow, one day. Those are so dangerous lies that people say to themselves all the time. And so the reason why I started this podcast is kind of for to help people like our age, like you know, from our our classmates to kind of also remember, like, to stop lying to themselves, and that, man, anything is possible, and that, I want to be a positive influence, and like for me to do this also takes a whole bunch of like insecurities that I have, and I have to literally put those to the side. And that's the thing about having a
Mhm.
purpose. So like when you were talking about your purpose earlier about, about helping, like have a space for young men to grow and like do all those things that you were talking about, man, that's amazing. That's like literally I think what a lot of people do, like as you get older, like maybe your kids are already grown up or you don't have kids yet. I think everybody that's a parent right now, like their purpose is their kids, and that's amazing. You kind of have that, but maybe there might be people on the other sides of that, right? Your kids are already out of the house, or you don't have kids yet. Kind of like where I'm at. It's like now what? And I think there is a purpose out there. You just kind of got to find it, and it's your purpose. So it could be a whole bunch of things, whether it's like helping kids or helping older people or helping your peers or just finding yourself. Like whatever that is, that purpose is, it's in you somewhere. And I feel like if you don't have that, if you don't have that, if you haven't don't have that figured out, it's not too late to figure that out. Cause you know what I mean? It's just like we have so much time. That's how I look at it. I feel like our futures ahead of us is so much brighter than what has already passed, regardless of how old you
I
are.
believe that too, and, like, that's the thing is, like, everybody has this mindset of, like, I don't know, I talked to, like, a couple individuals that have families and relationships, you know what I mean, and, like, they just feel like they're like, "I just feel like my prime is past me," and, like, me at 40, like, I feel like I haven't even touched it yet.
Yeah, I mean, your prime has probably passed you to become like a professional athlete, you know? To like
In my head, like,
you
I'm just like in my head, I still feel 25,
yeah, like
but when I get to bed, it makes me feel every bit of 45.
but that's what I mean. I mean, like a lot of you're there are a ton of things that we are past our prime with, but when it comes to like the big game of life, dude, I like we are kind of right in our prime for a lot of it, and a lot of that has to do with like and we'll kind of get to this because we haven't even touched on it yet, but like a lot of it has to do with like the potential of making money and starting businesses and like trading, whatever it may be. Like man, like this is like the best time of your life to kind of like get involved in a lot of those things. So real quick, I want to wrap up your time at Spanaway before we kind of get into some of the other fun stuff about just about you and your personality and just the things that you're interested in. So now that so you went from Spanaway Junior to Cedar Crest. How was Cedar Crest, and then like combined like your junior high years in general? Did you do extracurriculars while you were in junior high?
Yeah, so I did choir when I was in, Cedar Crest.
I love that class.
That was kinda my extracurriculars, yeah, I love, choir too. Mr. Holdaway was the shit,
Oh,
bro. I'm the OG, bro,
he was
and, like
yeah, man,
yeah,
he made me
yeah.
love that class and, like, cause he was just so
Man,
chill.
he made singing,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
same,
and it was just like, and his whole thing was like anybody can sing. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, and it was just bro. I miss those Cedar Crest choir days, bro.
same, same.
I miss those Cedar Crest choir days.
We had some fun, trips. Man, and, like, I haven't had him on, but, like, that trip to so it would have been your 8th grade year. Remember we went to, like, Vancouver? Do you remember that trip?
Yeah,
Yeah, see, like, that's what I mean, like, dude, I loved choir because, like and then it also helped out, like, if you're in choir, like, there's girls in choir too, so it's, like, it was tight to be around them, and then, like, once a year, you had a trip, usually somewhere like that. My 9th grade year, your 8th grade year, we went to, Vancouver, so it was just tight because it was like, oh, yeah, every year we just got this random trip. You kind of, like, do all these fundraisers throughout the years, usually selling candy and yeah, so it's just kind of funny. But yeah, no,
yeah. That's
yeah, what else about junior high? Like, do you remember? And do you have any other favorite classes besides choir? Anything else that kind of stands out?
I love shop class.
Oh yeah,
Shop was cool.
shop.
Like I love shop. Yeah. That was pretty much it. Like I didn't really like I tried out for sports, but I got cut a lot. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I just really didn't try. You know what I mean? Like
I didn't.
when it came to like playing on the street, like basketball and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what it was, man, but I was like good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like when it came to I had performance anxiety like real bad,
Yeah.
bro. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I felt like my entire family's bloodline through my dad, but I just had an angry dad that was good at sports and couldn't figure out why his son couldn't,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
That's a
like
lot of
shoot the
pressure.
ball a certain way
No, for sure.
or like you know what I'm saying, or make the team, you know what I mean? And like, but I remember having conversations with Roback, and I remember him telling me, "It's like I know you want to play, but you don't have to play just because your dad says you have to." You know what
Oh,
I mean? Like
damn.
it was just I want. And Roback told me he was like, "I want you out here," and I was like one of the serious conversations I ever had with Coach,
Yeah.
and I didn't end up playing for him, but like. I took that kind of same philosophy, like, cause I coached, man. I coached boys
Dope.
AAU basketball
Dope.
for almost 4 years in Joplin, Missouri. You know what I mean? And like took them to the championship. And I found out that my forte is exactly what it says. Those who can't play can teach. But
Yeah.
I know the game of basketball. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so like that was the thing. I loved basketball. I just couldn't figure out my body, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, to make it work.
A
You know
thousand
what I'm
percent.
saying? And
A
like,
thousand percent. Man, that's
but
crazy. You say you were in Joplin. Were you there around the tornado? Remember when the
I
tornado
had
hit that?
just left with the tornado. I mean, I
Oh,
left the year before the tornado like took off through there, and like that was the
wow.
thing that like because a lot of my like the guys that I coached, a lot of them like a couple of them they didn't go back to houses. You know what I mean? And so like I
Yeah.
mean, and like the guy that I coached for, his name's Isaac Edwards. He's a great guy. He runs Rainmakers Christian Sports Ministry. It's one of the biggest Christian sports ministries in Missouri. He has like I think he when we first started, we only had two traveling teams. We had two boys teams and two girls teams. He now has like 20. Uh, he now has 20 different teams. You know what I mean, playing at any given time at any age in offerings. Like it's just he's totally accelerated the program, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's just been phenomenal. Like watching it, like and watching him rebuild everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
And remember, you know what I mean? Like figuring that out. You know what I mean? Like how you want to know. I don't know what it is, man. I like to pivot. You know what I mean? Like walking through the different stages, not only your life but like my life too. I lived with a chip on my shoulder for a long time of things that I didn't accomplish. Like when I was like in high school. You get what I'm saying? Like
I think a chip on your shoulder is good for you, though, to be honest. I think
it
it
does,
is.
unless you have a little bit of edge. But like it also if you don't control that chip, it will take more dip than you need.
That's
You
true
know than
too.
it needs
I think
to take.
it is. It's a dangerous kind of level. Like I will just say, for example, like Shadur Sanders right now, right? He's already a millionaire, and he was supposed to be the first pick overall, or whatever, or at least in the first round, and he gets drafted fifth round, much lower. I think that was a blessing for him to get drafted so low, because I hope that
I do too.
I think that chip now, because it's hard to have a chip when you're the guy, when he's already a millionaire. He celebrated being drafted in the fifth round by jumping in his $1 million pool. And I'm like, dude, man, this is kind of the perfect thing that he needs. He needs not that he needed to get humbled. But I think he needed an extra chip on the shoulder. So that's why I feel like, man, sometimes that chip is good. Like your dad kind of telling you can't be a chef. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I think some amazing things come to it. And so like I will have to admit, a lot of times through my own life, I didn't have enough chips on my shoulder. Like I kind of got babied into like I had a, just almost like every path I took was super easy, so that when I finally started feeling adversity, I didn't know how to deal with it. I was just like, damn, this thing's hard. Like, I got to UW, and I was just like, damn near failed out multiple times, because I was just like, damn, this is like, you actually have to work. You can't just charm your way into, like, I used to be able to like kind of talk my way through some of my teachers in high
Yeah.
school. I mean, you can't do that in college, man. They don't care, like they take your money and they'll just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So all these things I kind of learned throughout life is like, man, like is like, and that's why it's like when people go through adversity, man, I don't feel sorry for anybody anymore. I think that's a good thing. I think like
Yeah,
you don't want the negative parts of it, because I think that's where, because it can eat something inside of you too, where like if you have a
my
chip on your shoulder.
my favorite meme video is Jocko Willnick's "Good."
Yeah,
You
yeah. Yeah. By the way, speaking of, this is not an ad. This is not planned, but I have his creatine here that I try to take every day. Jocko creatine. this, this is
Yeah,
so
no,
random that you
dude.
brought that up. But you're right.
No,
Explain the
my
meme to
thing
people.
is,
Explain the meme to people.
yeah. So like this video is like he's telling you know what I'm saying like you're going through different adversities in your life, different stages. It's basically okay. Your wife left you, good. Your
Yeah.
kid just died, good. You know what I mean? Like whatever stage it is, whatever good. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like you can stay there for a minute, but keep pushing. You know what I mean? Like and that's the thing is like people they get so derailed by adversity, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or the first, you know what I'm saying, like no. You know what I mean? Like, man, I would not be where I am today if I listened to no.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
you get and people stay stuck in the no. You know what I mean? And
Or
like
yeah, or you let one no just defeat you fully for a whole year when it's just like, dude, it might take you 100 no's to get the thing that you really want. So it's like, do you really
yeah,
want one no to affect your whole year versus or affect your whole month or affect your week or affect your day? And like, so when you realize it's like, man, a no is just a no, and that there's really like there you should take emotion out of it, and then like you learn so much from the no. It's just a no is just a piece of information, you know what I mean? And so it's
yeah.
like but
And so
yeah,
going back to your thing of opening up Spanaway, like like Spanaway Junior High, you know what I mean, going into Cedar Crest and stuff like that. And like it was like a smooth transition. You know what I mean? Like
dope.
I didn't make friends there because I was just scared, bro. You know what I mean? Like in Cedar Crest, like
You didn't have to worry about fighting
I
everybody.
like no, I didn't have to worry about fighting everybody. No, I didn't have to worry about fighting anybody. Like it was my whole thing was is that the reason why like I was just mad after I'm not gonna lie, after my Hominy died, my Korean grandmother and
Yeah.
my American grandmother, they died within 2 years apart.
Wow.
So, like, I lost my grandma was, like, within 2 years, bro.
Wow.
And so, like yeah. So, like, it was my Korean grandma went first, and then my American grandma, and then, like, when my like and I lost it.
Yeah.
Like, inside, like, as a kid, like, I didn't know how to internalize that pain,
Yeah.
so it came out in the form of anger.
Yeah, for sure.
And take it out on others. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, and as an adult, you realize, you know what I mean? Like different stages of your life, you walk through adversity, you know what I mean? And like everybody, like, and I kind of felt like, you know what I'm saying, during that junior high and high school phase, like I kind of walked with like kind of like a shadow over my head.
for sure.
And that was the hard is internalizing that and not telling anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like when anybody said anything about grandmas, like I was like instantly like
Yeah.
blacked out. You know what I mean? Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like stop talking about that shit. I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
And so like now to where like you know what I mean? Like getting saved, growing up, you know what I mean? Reconditioning my mind and just like trying to elevate myself on a daily basis. Like I realize like there's certain times that span away. Like I really wish I could get those back. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
I did hurt a lot of people. I did. And that's something that I openly admit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was kind of like still the background character. Like I wasn't like one of the main characters. You get what I'm saying? And like it was
And like
like
I told you earlier, you're the main character today. You know what I'm saying? This, and that's why I love doing this. Is that it gives everybody that, however you feel, some type of way. It's like, man, like at least I am thankful that I can let everybody kind of be main character for at least one podcast episode. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man. You know what I mean? And like that's and that's like I don't know why, man, but like I already know like a couple of years down the line, this is gonna be like a jewel on your crown, bro. Like I already know. You know what I mean? Like just documenting this, like
yeah.
walking through like
Oh,
different
I just think
stages
it's
of
fun.
everybody's lives.
I mean, what would be dope is like, you know, people that come on the show end up doing even more amazing things. Like, look, I have this old interview from before they became XYZ. And it's just
Oh
like,
man, I wanted this interview. I wanted this interview. I know that it's on the yearbook, right? And I got clowned on this for years because um I remember Brandon Gorley interviewing me.
yes.
He was part of the yearbook
Yeah.
staff and stuff like that. And before he interviewed me, you know what I'm saying, he found out that I was like not going to graduate on time. You know what I mean? And like he asked me a question. He was just like, it was kind of a dig. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Are you about graduating? And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be great. And he was just like, are you sure? You know what I mean? Like I kind of like trying to put me on the spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like kind of then like walked off. You know what I mean? But like it was like I wish at one point like I'm gonna grab that clip
Yeah.
and I'm telling you right now, Heinz, I'm gonna say it right now on your podcast. I'm gonna say it first. 4 years from now, 2029, I'm gonna roll out. And when I do roll out, I'm gonna play that clip first. And it's not to bash Brandon Gorley. It's to bash the fact that that lasting moment on that yearbook has been my biggest driver to this day.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. No, that's like I said, man, I feel like chips on shoulders are good, man. You know what I mean? I feel like I that's what I've been missing the last I've been here in Samoa for dude, almost 2 years and I really don't have that much to show for it, which is partly why I
Dude,
started these things. No, that's partly
yeah, but it's not just that, man. You know what I mean? Like you gotta think about it like this. Like Samoa like is beautiful. But some people don't know that it is. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and the mentality of some people, because I have other Samoan friends, and they say the same thing. Is like their mentality. Some people are stuck. You know what I mean? Like
For
they don't
sure.
feel, and I've felt that my whole life. But I
Yeah,
feel like people like that had a different way. Like it's just to bring it out of them. You know what I mean? Like, and it's to bring them out. You know what I mean? Or like to bring whatever like they're stuck in like out of it, you know what I mean? Like, and so like whatever like your gifting is that you feel, you know what I mean? Maybe it's to start a podcast with your people down there so they can just have a chance for their voice to be heard,
for
bro.
sure, for
You know what
sure.
I mean? Because like that's the thing. Like even right now, I feel empowered by your podcast
Well,
to be able to
that's why
share
I
just a
feel
little bit of my
empowered.
story.
I feel empowered by this podcast too because I have this opportunity to give back to like a lot of my like I'm telling the part of this is to kind of remind myself, but to also remind people like, man, I have a stronger connection with people that I grew up with. Like I could feel it in every episode I do than with people that literally live like right next to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right now, because I didn't grow up here. I don't know the language as well. I don't know like the culture I kind of know, but that's all like passed down. Man, like it's just not this is not my home. So it's funny when people are like
Hmm.
when I'm here and they're like, "Oh, hey, welcome home."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Man, this shit ain't home, man. I'm
Isaac.
from 253." You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
Hmm.
really where I am way more comfortable like back in the state of Washington, even more so probably Seattle because I've lived the majority of my life I've lived in Seattle. So all that being said, it's kind of like, man, like I still felt like I needed to kind of find myself and like quit lying to myself about just a whole bunch of things, like all these things that you kind of hit earlier in the episode in this podcast episode. So how'd you get your name, by the way?
Terran, it's hilarious. So my dad's a big science fiction nerd, right?
Okay.
And there's an old book called War of the Worlds where the people group were called Terrans, and literally the name means man of the earth.
Wow.
And so that's how, yeah. So if you take the Latin sub root of terra, which means dirt or, you know what I'm
Yeah, like
saying, earth,
terrain. Yeah.
and then an, yeah, exactly, and which, yeah, like terrain, and then you take an, which is the subroot of man. It literally means earthman,
Wow.
man of the earth.
What'd you
And then on top of that, like I'm a So on top of that, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm extremely grounded.
Oh, wow.
Born the first, I'm the firstborn, born on the first month of the year, born on 81. So my entire life, my lucky number has been 11 every single time.
Wow.
Every time I bet 11, every time, like it's crazy. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't do the numerology
No,
thing
but
because it scares
sometimes,
me because
yes, sometimes things just line up.
the synchronicity,
Yeah.
yeah, some of those things just line up. You know what I mean? And so like, but grounded individuals usually go through the roughest life path. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you. Like I don't know why it is the way that it is that way, but I'll tell you, I'm a hard learner. I love to learn things the hard way. I've just never got it. You know, I've never been able to get it easy, bro. And I'm like almost envious of you in some ways. But I've had to learn it the hard way, and I've learned some pretty hard lessons.
Yeah. No, and I think like I said, like you can be envious of me, but it's like it's left me at a later age not experiencing some of those things, which is my detriment, you know what I mean? So it's like having
Mhm.
to learn a lot of these things much later in life is hard, but it's like once you
But also you can count that as like sometimes as wisdom, you know what I'm saying, of
oh, for
making
sure.
right choices to the point where you don't have to like deal with those hardships and like, you know what I mean? And having wise counsel as well. You get
For
what I'm saying?
sure,
But
for
like
sure.
I lacked all those things when I'm growing up
Same,
though.
same. And so that's why it's like, and I hate that I like shied away from adversity, like just basically
Hmm.
like my whole like early years because I could have possibly missed out on a lot. But what I'm glad that even though I'm at my age now, that now it's like I just understand that adversity is part of it. Things aren't going to come easy. There's definitely going to be a ton of no's. And once you kind of understand that, you're just like, oh, okay, you really are. And you brought this up earlier before we got cut off, how like a lot of things in life is just not quitting. So like if you eventually, and I hope you do start a YouTube channel, literally like I think everybody has the ability to be successful on YouTube by just not quitting,
Yeah.
in like if whatever you're doing, if you're doing it, if you can do it for a year, then like okay, you have at least that data. I've been doing YouTube for like 6 months now, and it's like I still don't have that much information. I don't know what works yet, and like I've been relying on this podcast for the main content for my YouTube channel, but it's like, I need to do more other content, which I will. And so anyways, all that to say that yeah, man, I am thankful to be able to try to like make content for people and do stuff like this and like have people like you on. So, yeah, man, thank you for jumping on and
I just try to add as much value as I can.
amen.
You know what I mean? Because like, and I don't, and I realize as a content creator on another content creator's, platform, like I do want to give you as much value as you can because people don't understand. You know what I mean? Like you have something to say, whether you felt like you failed, help me not make that same choice. You
Preach.
know what I mean? Like, speak your values. There's so much people think, you know what I'm saying? Oh, because I failed, I'm not where I want to be in life. Neither am I.
Yeah.
I really thought with a lot of my crypto investments, this is one thing a lot of people don't know about me, and I'll just share it completely right now. 17, I won about 250K off of Shiba Inu. Okay, I was in early, like way early. I had never had that much money in my entire
Yeah.
life. You get what I'm saying? And like, I was smart. I ended up giving like 200 of it to my mom to keep. You know what I mean? Like I trusted my mom. The rest of it, I just like blew. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Unlike, what I'm saying, stupid. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I never had these, and never got these shoes. You know what I mean? Like living in that like kind of like
I've never
I just
had
got paid.
Jordans.
Like, type of thing.
Speaking of,
Yeah, exactly. Like that mentality.
one
Yeah.
day though, one
I never
day.
had Jordans, man. Like I'm not gonna
Hey,
lie to
that
you.
that's
Like,
gonna be one of my YouTube videos when I finally
huh?
buy Jordans. Because I've literally have never owned a pair of Jordans in my life, but one day I will, and that will definitely be a video on this channel. So go ahead and subscribe so that one day you might see that video. But yeah, no, like that, yeah, hell yeah, go get you like if you come into some crazy money like that,
No.
get all the things,
Yeah. Like
So
yeah. You know what I mean? So like so I took that, you know what I mean, like, and I kind of ran with it, you know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, I don't understand. There's a lot of stuff in my life I felt like other people got really easy and I didn't understand, you know what I
yeah,
mean? But like when I really started to study in 2017, like blockchain technology and how everything started to like how money and how even data is starting to change. And like that's some of the things where I don't like think people from our class is really understanding of what's going on right
for
now.
sure,
And like when I tell people like, you know what I mean? Like they don't understand like money is changing. Like literally right now, what they're trying to do is collapse the American dollar. And the American government is doing this right now actively. And so, because people don't understand that because they don't understand finance and they don't understand macro and microeconomics and how the dollar is literally the biggest Ponzi scheme in the entire world.
through that.
And so, like,
That could
when
be its
those things
own
are now
episode
starting to
itself
build
too.
and how every
Yeah,
that can be in its own episode, you know what I mean? And so, like, when I started to find out like how these things and how these intricacies work behind blockchain and with that data, like I'd never been good at understanding any of that stuff before, but something like switched in my head where I started to understand. You know what I
yep,
mean? Like I started to understand like this stuff is literally going to it's you know what I mean? It's data in real time. That's all it is.
yeah,
It's blockchain, it's data in real time. They're gonna know. And scary as it is, it can be like a thing, but it's also a blessing in disguise if people can read through it. You get what I'm
yeah.
saying? And so I've been preaching XRP for a long time. The reason why is because like if you look at the clogs in our financial system, it takes 10 days. It takes 10 days to ship $1 million like across the world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And XRP can do it in 7 seconds.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know, the same amount of money within minutes or within seconds. So it solves a real world issue. And kind of like why I preach it so much, it's like because people don't understand we're moving out of this kind of Bitcoin era and people don't understand like Bitcoin was a great store of value.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's a great method of saving and increasing money because it's deflationary. It goes up with time. You know what I mean? Like you could hedge your retirement against it. Like a lot of businesses are hedging their everything with Bitcoin. You
Yes.
get what I'm
Yep.
saying? But that's all it does. It doesn't solve the real world problem. You get what I'm saying? And so like people when I tell people we're not Bitcoin's not going away.
Yeah.
I'm just telling people that it's not going away. But what the big institutions now starting to realize is that Solana, Ethereum is going to be like the main hub of everything. It's literally going to be the heart. And if you can see like XRP and XLM and XDC kind of like as the roadways or veins going in the body, and Ethereum being the heart, Solana is going to be kind of like the cerebral cortex behind everything, making everything think together. It's like it's AI. It has its own AI think tank and everything. And then when you see these other blockchains like connected to all these systems, you're going to get very shocked. But the fact that people can be in so early right now, when I tell people XRP at $3 right now is like Bitcoin at $10, and everybody refused to buy before it made this. Dude, it went
For sure.
from $10 to $1,000.
Yeah.
Its first jump. XRP has been locked down for 7 years.
Wait, so real quick, I know like this is probably going over so many people's heads right now that aren't, but like you can
It is.
literally go to Chat GPT or Google or any of the search and basically kind of do research on basically everything that Terran is talking about here. First, how did you get into the, like, so you said with your Shiba Inu, right? Like,
Yeah.
how did you start?
So I started, you know what I'm saying? Like I started off like in different Discord chat groups, right?
What
And
year was
there's this
this?
term called this is like
Wow.
2017.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so it started off first like on like different like Reddit chat groups like degenning, and then like they made Discord
Yeah.
like in 2018. You
Wow.
know what I
So
mean?
you're
And
like
so
one
that
of the first
Discord blew.
users of Discord, basically.
Yeah. Mhm. And I was part of one of the biggest communities. Like I was part of Mason Forsilis's. Like he's a huge crypto influencer. I was part of his community for a while. Learned a little bit,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, while I was in there. But the most I learned about crypto was um was watching a kid named, and he's a kid, his name's Nathan. He goes by DeFi Daddy on
Okay.
TikTok. I met him first, not only through TikTok, but he went through another. I'm not gonna say his name, but like in the back channels, he goes by something
Okay.
else.
Yep.
Like, yeah, but like, he he basically told me he was like, "This is how you navigate blockchain."
Wow.
And he basically told me he was just like, look, there's a series of wallets attached to different cryptos and different ecosystems. You just have to learn the wallets and you have to learn the ecosystems before you can learn to operate. So what I did is that then I started going on an info dumping spree. Like I just started reading about every single blockchain that was out there that was popular.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Within reading a couple of things, you started to realize who were the big players and who weren't. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, like, there's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, because they're attracted to the memes. You get what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Because, oh, you hear about all the millionaires that come from memes. But here's the deal. I got in Shiba Inu lucky with a $200 bet, and I won over $250,000. The reason why is because literally when it first got listed, I put $200 in. I woke up the next day, the bitch was like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Literally like that. But like, I was like, "Oh shit, I should have put in 2 grand. It'd be like 2 million right
Yeah.
now." You know what I mean? But like, that's the way that it was. But like this, I'm gonna give you the sauce right now for your
Oh,
people.
snap.
Crypto is all about, yeah, crypto is all about percentages. It's not about like having a couple stock or like, oh, I have 1,000 stock in Apple. Nobody gives a shit about that. Like in some of these cryptos, like in DAG, Constellation Network is basically the entire data nervous system of going to be of the United States. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And I own 1%. I got in super, super early.
Wow.
They have deals with the DoD, every three-letter
Yeah.
agency, the military, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, the NFL, the NBA. They're the data center of everything. Their job is to obtain data. That's their only mission, goal, and objective.
Dope.
So, the fight for data in the
Oh,
world, right?
1000%.
So,
What does
yeah, so
what does
data.
that stand for? Those letters? Do you know?
Yeah, DAG is just like their tag name,
Okay.
basically their ticker called a DAG,
Okay.
but their network that they run is called Iron Spider. So
Okay.
what that is that they can track data and transactions. Basically, they can let's say like you use your wallet and you buy this, right?
Yeah.
Well, they are interested in that one purchase or purchases that you've made. They share that data with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Okay, cool. He really likes Pepsi Zero. All right. What they're able to do is they're able to take that transaction, lift it up off the grid, and look at it like a spider's web.
Oh, snap. Okay.
So when I tell you the time of hackers and illegal trading and all that other stuff is coming to an end. They're able to pinpoint every transaction,
Interesting.
everything, and lift it up off the grid to look at it this way, so they can track and trace every single thing that you've done, everything that you've bought, to sell that information to
Yeah,
those people who have partnered with
for
them.
sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all it is a 24/7 real-time data collecting network.
Interesting. Okay. No, that's crazy. So,
And even though it sounds scary, you know what I mean? There's good applications to it, but there's always bad sides of applications. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
People just have to realize that that's investing, and realize that this is about making money. It's not about anything of your feelings getting
for
into it.
sure.
You know what I mean? And so that's the thing that people got to realize. Like in a lot of these crypto projects, I'm in early,
Yeah.
and right when they make money, like I'm out. You get what I'm
So,
saying?
real quick, so say somebody's listening to this, they're from this way, they're not involved in any of this, and maybe they want to. Like, how would somebody start? How would you like?
Actually, like I told you,
What
like
you said? Crypto wallet.
go ahead.
What's a good crypto wallet for somebody that has no investment in anything crypto wise?
So
What would
I would tell people to invest, you know what I'm saying? First off, like people make crypto exchanges, you know what I mean? Like Coinbase, Uphold, Kraken, you know what I mean? Just to name a few. But every single cryptocurrency you invest in, if you do your research, and that's why I tell people, do your research, they have their own wallet for their crypto. I'm not gonna lie to you.
okay?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And that's called a hot wallet. So anything that's on that crypto's chain. So let's say like XRP has the XRPL, right? I have an XRPL wallet that holds all the cryptos involved on the XRPL.
Okay.
And then I have another one for Solana that involves all the cryptos on the Solana blockchain. And then I have another one for
Ethereum.
Ethereum. I have another one for Sui, AVAX, all these other crypto and blockchains that are really
Yeah.
building. And even Cardano, I hold those hot wallets, because on-chain wallets they take snapshots every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, they take a snapshot of your wallet. So you don't have to worry about like any hackers or anything like that coming in.
Yeah.
They keep an on-chain record of what you actively have. And since they already know the data and what you do with your crypto, like they know of a malicious, you know what I'm saying, any
So now
malicious
you just
intent.
brought up DAG, right? So now if somebody wanted to invest in DAG alone, right? How would they go about
Mm-hmm.
doing that?
DAG's everywhere right now. So you can get it on Coinbase and Uphold,
Okay.
and it's sitting at about like, I think 4 cents right now. So it's still under $1. It's extremely undervalued, just because of the fact that a lot of people don't want to touch it, just because it's involvement with the military and other three letter
Yeah,
agency. But it's also the same people that will invest in the warfare industrial complex. You get what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
So like that's the thing that I was like, just because it doesn't say Planeteer, or it doesn't say, you know what I'm saying, what's that
Any of
other
these
big one?
new like you can even go the OGs, like Boeing is basically a defense contractor too.
Yeah,
You got
exactly. You know what I mean? And so like,
Grumman Northup is another one, and then you have yeah. I mean, there's a lot of defense contractors out there that
but here's the deal, like, Ripple XRP is the internet of everything. And people don't understand what that means. They're not just a messaging service. XRP is not just a mode of um, messaging back between banks and institutions. they're actually deeper in every single government application spend. Ripple is a sleeping giant. And so that's why I tell people all the time, about XRP. XRP is the next Bitcoin. And I will say that in 10 years time, and I'm not going to say that like XRP is going to go to some astronomical amount this
Yeah.
year, like all these influencers saying. I'm a tangible technical analysis artist. Like I like to look at the chart. And the highest peak that I see XRP going is around $58 this bull run. And then that's at the highest.
Yeah.
Now, my logical range is it's not going to hit anything above 20, but you have these crazies that think it's going to blast up to 1,000,
Yes.
2,500, 10,000. But those are maxis. You get what I'm
For
saying? Like
sure.
they're tangibly holders that held that token for a long time, and they're just hoping and wishing that it's going to go to like that astronomical amount to where they can just retire. No, I like my spread out a little bit more. Do I hold a lot of XRP? Yes, I do. I hold a shit
For
ton of
sure.
XRP because I got in early. But I know for a fact I'm never selling any of my crypto ever, no matter how high it goes. And this is the part of decentralized finance people don't understand. And this is what people don't understand about liquidity.
By the way, all
So
of
the
this
banks
is
have to
not
borrow.
financial advice. Please do your own
Yeah, all of
homework.
this is
This is
not
all for
financial
entertainment
advice.
purposes.
Okay.
Terran's just telling us what he's doing, and if you decide to follow him, that's on you. But no, man, I love the
So this is
information. Go
so
ahead.
this is where the Yeah, so this is where the new wealth is going to be generated. So this is what the new wealth is going to be generated. So all the crypto that you buy right now, let's say like Bitcoin, right? Or like I'll just use XRP for an example. So right now I can put my XRP and I can wrap it with USDC, right? And I can inject that into a liquidity pool. Now, what that will do is that I can take my XRP with 1-to-1 USDC, which is a stable coin, put it into a liquidity pool on the XRPO. At that point, Ripple can pull from my liquidity pool and they will pay me back APY every single time they use it. And I get money back on every single transaction fee.
Wow.
So in that state, you're not a normal citizen anymore. At that point, you become the bank. You are earning APY back on every transaction and it doesn't matter. Like, cause right now XRP is $3. I own over 100,000 XRP. If XRP goes anywhere to 10, 12, 50,
Yeah,
$100, I'm getting APY back on that XRP and off of every transaction that they make
that's dope.
with my XRP.
Damn.
And so that is the power of decentralized finance. So that's why I'm telling people it's still early.
Yeah,
And if you get in this, imagine being in so early that at 10 years from now, if XRP is $1,000 and you got in at 3, gee,
yeah,
that's not only your retire that, but here's the beautiful thing about DeFi. Your keys can get passed to your children through trust. So the same amount of XRP can feed your family for the next
years,
100
years.
years. And that's
W
the power that people are not understanding. And that is the message that I'm trying to preach. And that is what, because I'm trying to
no, I feel it.
like I told you before this, I'm helping a couple of friends, you know what I'm saying, from back in the sway.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And all I'm doing is that I am giving them my research. I'm teaching them how to open wallets. I'm teaching them how to make small crypto investments. One of the biggest crypto influencers on the XRPO, his name's Echo the Truth. And basically I helped him build his school. I made all the infographics, did all the research, everything like that. Like, when we're launching it here in the next 30
Dope.
days, and that's going to be a game changer too. But like literally my passion is teaching people about crypto. I want everybody to get in early. I want them to be able to understand DeFi, because if you understand DeFi, like really understand it and start to understand it, people who invest would tangibly buy crypto just to get in these liquidity pools early, because some of these liquidity pools, Heinz, are ranging between 20 to 40%
That's crazy.
APY back, and you can lock that down,
You want to
bro.
hear something crazy? So, man, one of my old coworkers, it was like 2015, could have been 16, 15, 16. He told me about Bitcoin, and it was like $300, and like him and his wife had bought maybe like 10 of them or something like that at the time. And I thought he was crazy. And I was just like, I didn't think it was like, I just thought, I just didn't understand what he had just bought. And like when him explaining to me back then, it was just like, I didn't understand. Then 2017 rolls around, and then, Bitcoin hits 20K or whatever. And then it was just like, oh, I found out real quick kind of like what was going on. And it was funny too, because like he sold all, I don't know if he ever got back in, but in 2017, he had sold all of it. because I mean he had made so much money already, but it was just kind of like, so this was
Mhm.
that thing that you were trying to tell me that I didn't understand. And so, nah, man, I don't
Mhm.
want anybody to kind of miss out on that, something like that. So another reason why I brought you on.
BTC, so BTC, you know what I'm saying? Like it's an old joke on the Reddit, you know what I'm saying? Like on the nerd sites and Reddit, but like it literally means beta test coin.
Wow.
Bitcoin was a store of value. It was made to be like basically like if you can like imagine a super CD. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's deflationary. Goes up when there's inflation, it counters it, and it still continues to go up and rise. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they made it as kind of a hedge of protection. You get what I'm
For sure.
saying? So it was a test. It was a test to see, you know what I'm saying, if we were going to accept it, and we did. We accepted that, you know what I'm saying, transition about 2015 with
Yeah.
crypto,
See, damn,
because
that's
that's when
crazy.
all the big names, yeah, that's when all the big names in crypto got started. I'm pissed because in 2015 I could have got XRP for
Yeah.
pennies on the dollar. I got into XRP in 2017, at the end of 2017, going into 2017 on Atomic Wallet. They had just announced the court case. They delisted XRP everywhere.
That's right.
So like, and you couldn't get
You had
XRP.
to
And so I
you had to
felt
have
lucky.
like a certain
So I
wallet or
felt lucky.
something in
Yeah, you had to have, yeah.
2018.
In
Yeah.
2017 and 2018, the only wallet was Zamin and Atomic Wallet that you could actually buy XRP. An Atomic Wallet, you had to have a VPN set for the UK to even buy it off of
Yeah.
there. And I did. I had a VPN, dude, because I was like in these back forums, everybody, dude, dude, these nerds gave instructions to everything,
Yeah.
bro. Like everything, how to obtain everything. And they just put the sauce, like everything on there. And so you just follow the instructions. So that's all I did. And that's when I first started degenning. You know what I mean? Like degenning is like a crypto term of like guys that sit online and we gamble all day.
Yeah.
It's not like we
That
sit
was
on,
gonna be my
we
other
gamble all
question
day
though. Like, so how often do you crypto trade? Daily?
daily.
Okay.
I degen every day.
Weekend
And I do it on multiple blocks.
weekends
I
too?
do Solana,
Okay.
there isn't a day that I don't go back without like gambling a little
Yeah.
bit, just because of the fact that part of the like here's the thing about degenning. Like now that like there's different communities and different, you know what I'm saying,
For sure.
ecosystems and blockchains and stuff like that, it's easier to navigate and easier to know them, you know what I'm saying, and easier to get money. So like I can make a 10 XRP trade, you know what I'm saying, on a meme coin on the XRPO that I know that a community is working on, just because like I've been in a lot of these communities since the beginning.
Yeah.
And so like I'm not gonna they run some coins. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And we get in on it early and then we bring it out to the community and then the community gets into it and then we blast it, bro. We blast it on Instagram, we blast it on X,
Yeah.
we blast it everywhere. And it draws people in.
Yeah.
And those waves come in. And the thing is though, we bless those people because those people make money. You know what I mean? The community makes money, everybody makes money. And then we even tell people when to sell. And that's what you've seen some of my posts too. Like I tell you when to sell, I
Yeah.
tell you when to take profits, and you still don't want to do it anyways. You know what I
For
mean? And
sure.
so like what we do is we sit in Discord, we'll look at XRP, we'll look at Ethereum, we'll look at some of these crypto plays and these memes, and we'll sit there and we'll trade it and we'll make our bets. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And everybody will give their ideas and everything like that. I'll put in my $100 or whatever, and we'll write it up every morning, same time, same everything. Because if you look at crypto, never sleeps. Like it's traded
Yeah.
24/7. It's the only thing that's traded 24/7. You can't even trade stocks 24/7, but now you can. Now that most of these stocks have been tokenized on the Solana blockchain, there's people buying stocks 24/7, trading Apple 24/7 on the Solana blockchain that you can't do during behind regular
Yeah.
hours.
That's
You
crazy.
get what I'm
For sure.
saying? So now the transition is now all these stocks are coming over to blockchain and they're being traded 24/7 now. So now you're going to start seeing these stocks like Tesla, Apple, they're going to slowly start to, as they're connected to these blockchains, you're going to start to see their stocks start to skyrocket. So it's going to be a second chance or even a first chance for people to get on these stocks again and build wealth, build
Interesting.
tremendous wealth.
Man, that's dope. That's so crazy.
That's why Trump keeps on saying it's a golden age. It's a golden age. We're stepping into a golden age when it's the finances. If you listen to what he says,
For
okay,
sure.
every time we've had a golden age, it's been for at least 20 to 50 years, it's been an incredible acceleration up.
Absolutely. I feel
But
like,
on
man,
the
we are
back,
also in a golden age of when it comes to AI. Like, there's amazing AI tools that keep on turning
dude,
up every week. There's like a new tool that it's like
there's ways to make money. And like that's the thing is like I wanted to share with you and like even your viewers is that there's so many ways to make money
thousand
now. And
percent.
it's like it's so and like the thing is though, like you know what's it makes me sad is that it's still the same percentages of people who are going to actually apply it and do it. And then because like you said, like AI has so many advantages and there's so many things online that are like so readily available for people to like actively make money and they won't
Yeah.
use it.
It's
You know what I
everything's so
mean? And so
simple now,
like,
but it's not necessarily easy. There's still a little bit of work you have to do, but it's really not that bad. It's not as much work as you think it is. And like you literally just
no,
got to
it's
dip your
not.
toe in and start like learning some of these. Like there's new AI tools literally that come out every day that man, that just it helps like anybody can start a business. In fact, I'm starting one like right now, basically. And like I'm trying to get my first
Hell yeah.
client. And so it's just like I'm just kind of waiting. But man, I really should be trying to go out and get other clients right now. But I'm recording this podcast. But like I'm just kind of like, man, I'm excited just because of the possibilities of what the internet can do, the tools that are out there, crypto, AI, technology. I think there's that, and this is part of why I'm so optimistic of the future is that, man, if you're just plugged in, like there's so many ways to do things and
Hmm.
like your way is possibly one way. And so if people wanted to kind of follow your journey, like do you have access to do you have your own Discord room?
So I'm actively building a Discord right now and a
Yeah.
Telegram just because I know that there's like people who, here's the deal. You know what I mean? Like, even though
The
like
reason why I ask because
I know,
Discord is different from all the socials. Sometimes socials you don't see
yeah,
people's stuff like right away,
no,
except for maybe unless you're
no,
on X and then you follow every post that you write on X or get a notification.
hmm,
Because otherwise,
mm,
the algorithm kind of shows you, especially if you're in something where you need to know information like that moment, it's kind of hard to follow you.
hmm,
Like, for example, if you follow you on TikTok, which would be cool, I might see a post from you from like 5 days ago that, one of those
yeah.
ones that ran, so yeah, what's a good way for people like obviously prep and crypto? I'll have that on the screen and in the description. But what are like, yeah, give us a kind of preview of kind of what you have coming, what we can look forward to. So it sounds like you have a Discord coming on the way.
So I like recently just had a lot of friends in my life like come forward and just like, you know what I mean? Like I shared with you one individual that I'm
Yep,
helping
yep, for
after your
sure.
podcast. And I'm just to this stage now where slowly God is bringing these people back into my life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And I'm able to help. You get what I'm saying? And so like I do charge a fee because nothing is free, but by the end of our session, you know everything there is to know about crypto.
dope,
You are confident and I take you step by step in beginning levels. You get what I'm saying?
dope,
And it's not a lot, man. I charge maybe $200 for like 3 hours and I give you everything. I give you the sauce, I give you your first 10 plays and I guarantee you like even now during the bull run, I'm guaranteeing people within the next 3 months you're going to go up 20 to 40% if you buy in right now.
dope.
Like literally right now, we went up, right? All of crypto went up right now, and it was shocked everybody. Now we're slumped back down 40%, and it's almost back down to like original levels. You get what I'm saying? So I'm pouring more money into it. And I'm not afraid to say that at least 98% of my money is invested right now. I don't have any money in financial banking. Zero.
Wow. And then how can people get a hold of you? Say they
Zero.
wanted to sign up for your your course or whatnot. How can people just follow you on the socials?
All that. You can just follow me on the socials because like when I put it out, I'm just gonna put it out mass.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it out there. Like this is how I know like some people are interested and some people aren't because I did put a tag for a Telegram on an alpha calls group for people who wanted to meme coin trade
Yeah.
just to make their money. And that got like three
No
people.
hits, basically.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? And so like it's basically, you know what I mean? So like that tells me right there, it's just like either people are scared or they just don't trust you. You know what I mean? So like so I know with me, I had to pivot. And so now I'm going to give people the sauce of, all right, let me train you on how crypto really works.
For
You
sure.
know what I mean? And how you can benefit from it. and how it's going to change your life in the next 5 to 10 years. And how I've been telling people, like, yeah, you only have like $30,000 in your retirement because this is what the market does. And this, you know what I'm saying? I tell people all the
Yeah.
time Roth IRA is okay. 401ks are a scam. All they do is just give kickbacks to your company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If people really tangibly learn how to invest their money properly, they would never invest in a retirement plan again.
For sure.
And like this is a chance for people that are our age right now to get in like on that early Bitcoin. This is our chance for our people to get in right now for the next 10 years. And hopefully this is my plan is that in the next 4 to 10 years, like I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. I already know in 4 years I'm not going to be working, but like I want all my friends to get there
For
early.
sure.
You get what I'm saying? I want to be able to, because I mean, like, here's the thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody talks about like, and people gatekeep. I've never been a gatekeeper, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I've never been the type of person to like withhold information from
For
anybody.
sure.
But do I want to get paid? Yeah, I do because I like this is 8 years of
Yeah.
research. You know what I mean? This is 8 years of like going through all the back channels and finding out the information and bringing it to you guys and like giving you the reasons why you should invest. And yes, I do think, you know what I'm saying, $200 is not a lot of money compared to already some of the people
Yeah,
that
man,
do
people
follow me.
charge
They've made
some
thousands of
crazy
dollars. Like,
out of there like for courses these days. People are charging 1,000, but dude, $200, that's just to get
and I think like I make it. I'm Yeah, I make it personable. Like I'm literally sit on here like you with you like
for sure.
this for 2 or 3
Yeah,
hours until you get it.
that's dope.
You know what I mean? And so like nobody else out there is doing that. They're just giving you like a piece of paper and telling you, hey, hope you pay your like $1,000 or whatever, and here's your pamphlet, and hope you get online.
Absolutely. So go follow
Like, no.
PrepNCrypto, PrepNCrypto on TikTok. You can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on what are some of the other channels that you're on that they can follow you on? Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I'm back on TikTok now. You can find me there at Prep and Crypto. And guys, like I'm just like
And you really should
just gonna be
create a
completely
YouTube
honest with
channel,
you.
so so that you can do
And I
long
and I
form.
kind of after our conversation, I really
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
make
yeah.
a
I
YouTube
think you should
channel
do long
because
form where
I
you
do
just talk
have a lot of
about like literally all the stuff that kind of we talked about, but you could like, go deeper
mhm,
in on like different experiences in your life. Cause I feel like that's one way that you can also hit your purpose of helping the younger men just become men, like help them with that path from boyhood to
mhm.
manhood. I think your YouTube channel can like there's a multiple things that you can do with your YouTube channel and not just talk about crypto. And you can also do some cooking stuff on there too. Like I think initially, like if you wanted to go viral, like cooking stuff just kind of hits super easy. I not super easy, but I think it's like it's one of the, food is one of those things that like everybody can relate to. You don't have to know the language. You just see something that looks bomb and, you can kind of watch it or like it. But that's just I think you just for the brand of Terran, like for the brand, yeah, just for your own personal brand of who you are, a YouTube channel is it makes sense because like all these little aspects of yourself you could throw that on there and like granted, hey, yeah, maybe you might not have a following at first. I feel like, man, as we get older, like all the people will come. And that goes and like you kind of hit it earlier before, like I said, I think we got cut off, but like if you just create that channel and not quit, I think it could do numbers and to the point where that is also
Yeah.
another revenue stream that you can do, you know what I mean? So
My ultimate goal is because like I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these guys, you know what I'm saying, they're in crypto, like they're really knowledgeable, but they're not like articulate. You know what I mean? They don't know how to tell people about, you know what I'm saying, like the crypto. They're not well spoken. My dream is I want to be the very first like crypto reporter like on a major news syndicate. Like that's my dream. My dream is to sit in front of hundreds of thousands of people, tell them about the new cryptos that are coming up. You know what I mean? And like basically be the Jim Cramer of crypto.
yeah, that's dope. That's a dope dream. And
So
I think you should just 1,000% now, 1,000% think you should for sure start your YouTube channel because then you kind of already start doing that, and because a lot of people get their news from people like not only on YouTube, but like on TikTok and just like on the socials. Like I like, for example, I am a lazy Mariners fan, and I follow these chicks on Twitter that just kind of like talk about the Mariners, and like that's how I like to get my Mariners information now, which is funny. It's right, and these chicks are like 20 years younger than me, and it's just like, yeah, okay, I might be a little
Yeah.
creepy following them, but literally the information that they're putting out is Mariners information, and I'm like, okay, they're basically the
Hmm.
middleman. They're the reporter versus me going to like what I used all the original or like traditional channels. It's just like like
Hmm.
that's another thing what content can be. You're curating for an audience. So it's like you might want to get information packaged to you in a different way. So that's kind of like, and you have your own specific way with prep and crypto and just like in all the things that you mentioned. And so packaging is huge these days. And so, but yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like how we all consume information is all changing constantly and we all want different ways to consume it. So I just already know
Yeah.
that everybody thinks I'm probably a creep now just because that's how I get my Mariners information now. But I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Dang, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I know the Mariners girls you're talking about, and I like them too, bro. But there's another girl on Instagram that I follow for motivation, and she like basically she's just what I'm saying, she speaks life into you, right?
yeah,
But she's
yeah,
just
yes,
not dressed very
yes.
appropriately, but she's speaking life into you.
Well,
You know
that's
what I'm
what I
saying?
mean.
And
There's
so
always
like
like,
I'm not lying. Dude.
yeah, that's what I mean, but that's kind of what gets
Yeah.
hits too, and then the algorithm likes those types
At
of
the end
accounts too, so it's like you're kind of getting double hit, but that's its own thing. So, man, I am super thankful for you jumping on the podcast today, and I just have a couple more
man,
things before because you've brought the sauce today. So I'm just touched on subjects that a lot of people like haven't talked about on the show and shared a lot of things that, I'm sure
mhm.
a lot of people didn't necessarily know about you. And so I'm so thankful for that. Yeah. Anything that you would maybe want to say to like classmates? I think you've said some bangers already, but anything out there that you want to say to people from Spanaway that maybe haven't kept up with you in general or just in passing?
The internet is the internet and it's a personality that I have to have. You know what I mean? But like it's like I don't really think that anybody from school really like yeah, I can say this candidly. Nobody knows anybody from high school anymore. We're all completely
So
different people.
different.
You know what I mean?
So
Like
different.
and that is the yeah, and that is the beautifulness about growing up. You know what I mean? And like that is the beautifulness about life. It's the beautifulness about the journey. It's like a lyric from Eminem, it's all the pain amplified by the you know what I mean? Like, all that pain that and, like, I don't wanna say, like, Spanaway was, like, a birthplace for pain, but it was a proving grounds and a birthplace for pain into a lot of people's greatness. I will
For
say
sure.
that.
A lot of people have bad memories from Spanaway. A lot of people don't want to come on the show because their memories from Spanaway are bad, like involve a lot of pain. And I get it. And I'm just like, but at the same time, it's just like, I also try to remind them.
I don't live there.
Yeah, I try to remind people like, dude, you're not there anymore, and like who you became because of Spanaway
Mhm.
is also another thing that you should
Yeah.
be proud of, and like kind of give yourself grace and not worry about like one thing I don't want to do is just like bring up old trauma just to bring it up. You know what I mean? It's like I want like part of you being on the show is kind of showing everybody that you're still alive and that you made it through Spanaway years. You know what I mean? So that's like you
Yeah.
just anybody just coming on the show is just like, hey guys, I'm alive. And like saying that is like we said it earlier, that alone is a blessing in itself that you shouldn't take lightly. That, being alive is actually a huge accomplishment. You know what I mean? And so we should be grateful for sure.
It is, and that's the thing and that's you hit the hammer on the head right there with what you said is just about gratefulness. You know what I mean? Like I just remember like how many times in like longer like I would say probably I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not learned to be grateful probably until this year.
Dude, I feel you.
And you could and I'll openly admit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know how to be grateful. I didn't know how to be grateful until I got hit with pain. And when I got hit with that pain,
I ask everybody this question when you hear the term Spanaway, you hear the town, you hear somebody say it, what does that make you think of? Because wait, real quick, where are you at right
now
now? Like, what area are you?
I'm in Fort Worth.
So DFW, you're in the DFW
Fort Worth.
area. How long have you been out there?
About 11 years now.
Okay, dope. About a decade, dope. And then,
Mhm.
so that question right back at you, being a DFW resident, when you hear somebody say Spanaway, people bring up, what does that make you think of?
Jesus.
Really?
You know
Why is
why?
that?
Yeah, you know why? It's just because, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about it like this, right? The part in the Bible where, you know what I'm saying, they're talking about Jesus and they're like, what good can come from Nazareth? I want people to look at people who make it out of Spanaway as what
Could
good
come
can
from
come from
Spanaway.
Spanaway. And I want to be one of those people. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Amen.
what good can come from there?
Yeah,
Or they look at Compton and those places and they say, what good can come from there? You know what I mean? Like, and
I love
that
it.
is the overall message is that I want to ring out to everybody that has been to Spanaway, been hurt by Spanaway, what good can come from there? You. You are the good that comes from them. And I'm telling you this right now, Spanaway is not the same Spanaway as it was when we grew up in it.
For
It is
sure.
a better Spanaway now. It's better. There's some places, you know what I'm saying, that are still a little sketch, but like that's all places. But growing up how we used to and how it is now, totally different.
Yeah.
And so like to the people who need to hear it, respectfully and with love, grow. Grow. If you're still stuck in that trauma from Spanaway and it still hurts, it's because you have not dealt with that trauma from Spanaway. With me, it came with a lot of work, a lot of shadow work, a lot of stuff of me figuring me out. And like I said, like I just really started to learn gratefulness and have like and bring out the gratitude this year. You know what
For
I mean?
sure.
And I wish I could tell you more, but I know you ain't got no more time. So yes, I probably have to start
All
the
good.
YouTube
I
channel.
have one last question for you, and I like to end all of my podcast episodes with this question. If you could go back to 1999 and have a conversation with yourself right when you graduated high school, right when you finished high school or whatever, what would that conversation look like?
If I could go back and have a conversation with myself,
Yeah.
I would tell myself, honestly, I would have probably gave myself a hug because at that point, I knew what I needed at that point. I needed somebody to just like tell me it was okay. You know what I mean? Like all this extra stuff that you're trying to do to amplify, like, look at my worth, look at my
Mm,
worth. You know what I mean? Like I'm worth something. And really as kids, that's all we wanted to be seen as like, look
a
at my
thousand
worth. You
percent.
know what I mean?
I,
Like, look at
yep.
me. And like, so like I would go back and I would probably give myself a hug and be like, dude, you have no idea how fucking awesome you're gonna be 20 years from now.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? And like that's the number one thing I would give myself is like, bro, get this hug, get this pep talk, and just keep going, man. Just keep going. And like that's the thing, is just like because that's what I wish. I wish somebody would have just held me and been like, dude, it's gonna be okay, man. You're gonna be fucking great. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
But sometimes that doesn't happen. And sometimes that's what my learn is sometimes you gotta hug yourself. Hug yourself and tell yourself, man, it's gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Just keep going, keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Speak it over your life. And I'll leave you this one thing. Never talk negative about yourself because there is a warrior inside of you. There's a spirit inside of you, whether you believe it or not, and it believes what you say. Do not speak low about yourself. You are a high vibrational person. God loves you. I don't care what you believe. He wants you to be successful, and you just have to start. It starts with you. It starts with you. That's it.
Thank you for that. No, man, I agree, man. You cannot speak bad about yourself because your brain can't tell the difference, of what is,
No.
what is what. So, man, thank you for leaving us on that. And all of you guys that have made it this far in the podcast episode, man, we appreciate you. And like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And we will catch you guys all in the next one. Peace.